Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Comment Dense podcast.
Woo!
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
We're here.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. As you can see, we have a lemming.
Too long.
We have a lemming, but lemming unfortunately is having some issues with his camera. So that's why we'll be having General Lemming leading the forces into battle once more.
Draw me closer.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to hit them with
Demon
my
Rush.
sword.
hello,
Mr.
everyone.
Demon Rush.
So allow me to welcome you all to the show. If you've never seen the show before, my name is Ebak. I'm the host here at this channel. Here at the Scratching Post, we scratch that gaming itch, and I joined my friends once a month, in this case twice a month, because this is December's episode, which we've rolled over to January. We are basically talking about, we comment densely upon the news that happens the month, and also like to present various topics for our discussion and perusal, as well as for you to get involved in, which of course you can join us in the chat. So please feel free to post your opinions and your thoughts and desires, even if you think we're all utterly insane and think that, you know, disagree with us entirely. We're willing to negotiate and debate and tell you how right or how wrong you are, or how right or wrong we are, because we can argue between ourselves. My name is Ebak, and I'm joined by Burr.
Yay, hello.
Burr, one of my good friends, and of course another one of my friends, Shadow.
Hello.
I think it's Ryder, and of course the General himself, Lemming.
I am here. Yes.
The Primaris.
So,
That's good.
2022 is over, everyone. 2023 is here.
Hooray. We
Woo.
survived.
We survived another fucking year.
Woo!
North Korea's not shot a
We
missile
did
yet.
it.
Russia's making some weird moves, but
Oh god.
yeah.
It's okay though. They shot themselves in the foot when they turned off the Nord oil stream or gas stream or whatever,
Yeah.
and we had the mildest winter we've had in a while.
Yeah. If anything, global
Yeah.
warming's on our side at that point.
Please don't praise the day before the sunset, but hopefully yes.
Now, welcome to the Comment Dense podcast, where we comment upon geeky but also gaming related news that are from the previous month. And this is the first stage of the podcast where we talk about the various news subjects going around. I'm going to open, because I've actually got two news articles to talk about. One which is focused on gaming, and one which definitely isn't, but I think is still of note, as it were. So, first of all, I want to talk about a company called Filmora. Anyone heard of them before?
Nope.
You can't see, but I'm shaking my head.
Cool. That's fine. So Filmora is a company who basically they sell a video editing software product or various kind of things. They're like Adobe. They kind of sell these various editing programs for such, and they are considered to be quite high profile in terms of video editing. And a YouTuber named Daniel Patel, who is known for having instructional videos on how to use software, not just Filmora, but other software as well. He basically is integral for a lot of people and teach them how to YouTube, as it were. Found out something interesting, which is Filmora. He bought several lifetime subscriptions for the Filmora back in when it was Filmora 9. And Filmora have basically said in that lifetime subscription, you pay, I think it's a triple or quadruple figure sum, and you have a lifetime, you are set for life. Effectively, you will get free updates for life, or free upgrades, whatever it is. I think it was upgrades for life. No, it's updates for life. Free updates for life. Then Filmora 12 came along, and people started to realize, hold on, you're saying that my lifetime subscription is no longer valid.
Uh-oh.
And it turns out that Filmora, in an attempt to be like, we need to get some more money out of our customers, decided to change the wording of how they can say, yes, but that was talking about updates. What we're providing now are upgrades.
Interesting.
Wow,
This
fuck
sounds
you.
strangely familiar.
Yeah, and naturally, this blew up to a point where even like a bit of the mainstream kind of media was starting to kind of pick up on it, and even people like I never heard of this before, never watched Daniel Patel or his videos, or heard of Filmora. Yet this appeared on my feed, and I thought, oh, this is curious. I'll watch this, and I'm like, wow, this company's being ultra fucking shitty.
Yes.
And so yeah, as it turns out, Filmora, this company, basically attempted to manipulate the wording in. Instead of selling you a lifetime subscription, you can no longer buy the lifetime subscription. The idea is you now buy a like a premium subscription, and that's what it's basically like that, but you have to continuously pay for that over time. So unlike a lifetime subscription where you drop like when we're talking about lifetime subscription, the way people are talking about it in the comments is like, I went by Daniel's recommendation, and we had to we consider this a serious investment, for considering we had to dip into my whatever's college fund. We're talking serious investment by people.
That's at least 4 figures, if
Yeah,
not more.
yeah. I wasn't able to find any evidence for what the license actually costs, so it might be 3, it might be just that people exaggerating a little bit, but the fact that it is still 3 figures, and the idea is within the industry term, a lifetime is considered at least 25 years, and Filmora is suddenly saying, no, that's void, that doesn't matter, no longer matters, you're now going to pay us some more money. It's just
Yeah,
ultra shitty.
Yeah, no, I really resent the time now that especially like office products like Microsoft Office and stuff like that is now they now want to funnel you into subscription. It's just like, no, I will just be happy if you give me, like, I can't remember what I've got currently, but I've got a I have got Office on my machine, which is basically like, I think it's like 2019 or 18 or something like that. It's
Mm.
not the most up to date one. But the thing is, like, I had the funds at the time to buy the license outright and then just have it like that. And they're like, "Oh, don't you want like the more up to date thing?" It's like, nah, I just want to buy the fucking, I just want to buy the fucking thing and just have it. Like, why? Like, I hate that. I hate it. It's just like I
I'm
want to
sorry,
buy
but
one thing and just have it.
what year did Empire Strikes Back come out?
1980.
Yeah, 1981, 1980?
Yeah, you think we would have learned in 40 years to be wary of people who are going, I altered the deal, pray I don't alter it
any
further.
further. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Now this did have a somewhat happy end. Filmora backtracked on this whole decision and effectively allowed people to transition their lifetime licenses over to like several years worth of their premium membership or something. So it's still not lifetime, but they at least are now saying, okay, well, we're gonna give you several years X in restitutions for that, which is good. However, it does not stop the fact that they have also been one of the several companies to abuse YouTube's copyright system. They
Fuck's sake.
Oh, God.
no, listen to this. It gets better. They have filed they have filed a copyright claim against Mr. Patel. Now, bear in mind that Mr. Patel does like videos, tutorials. So you figured, well, okay, so he's probably using their content in one of the videos, sure. And guess what the sponsor of that video was? Filmora.
Oh, boy.
God.
They claimed a video they sponsored him to do several years ago because it contained their content.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wow.
That is the if there is a definition of petty, that is probably it right there.
That's what should be in the dictionary under petty.
Surely that creates a very complicated. Well, surely if he got a contract for that, that's going to create some interesting stuff in that regard. Because, oh, for fuck's sake,
Assuming
no.
that's in part of the contract or in the contract somewhere. That's
Yeah, like,
go on.
I would give that to a lawyer and be like, yo, what the fuck? Can I do this? The answer is
Yeah.
probably no, but
Is it legal?
Yeah.
it's just like, oh,
And Filmora weren't shall we say, they in their victory, they were in their loss, should we say, and their rolling back of their decision, they did, however, issue a threat.
Uh-oh.
Yes, and I do say this. And I'm trying to find the exact quote right now. Here we go.
All I can say is, chat, put a pin in this whole thing. You'll be seeing it again later.
Okay, so here we go. I'm actually going to quote Daniel from his video, which he is also quoting the article from it. So here we go. However, after reviewing the situation, okay, we've determined that some of the information shared on social media has been misleading.
Uh-oh.
Which
Has
Daniel
it
says,
now?
but yes, critically from you in particular. Once you're familiar, formally contends the behavior of spreading false accusations out of malicious intent and will be taking legal action as necessary.
Ooh, that is nasty.
That's like
brilliant.
that is basically saying like, okay, you've strong armed us into doing this. We're not happy, but we're gonna section out certain people who have made this big and make them regret that. Which that is
That's not very nice.
that's like saying, okay, here's your deal and flap. There you go. There's the backhand. You know, that's
Yeah,
it's a backhanded slap, Filmora, and quite frankly, you know, fuck you as a company. I don't use you. I don't plan on ever using you ever. Thanks to this little display. As my dear friend Below once said, it takes 5 years to build a reputation and 5 seconds to destroy it. So
5 minutes to
5 minutes to destroy
5
it.
Yeah.
Well,
It
close
takes
enough.
it, I think the quote is, it takes 10 years to build a business and 5 minutes to burn it all down.
And Filmora took more than 5 minutes to burn theirs down. With their because
Put a
of their
pin,
community.
yeah,
We're gonna put a pin on that.
in this, put a pin on this chat. You'll be seeing this theme again.
This is the theme of today's show. As
Yeah.
for into the next piece of news, gaming related and also pop culture related, which I want to quickly cover. I also want to kind of talk about the sad passing of Earl Boen. Very very sad. You know, those of us who within the gaming community, of course, know Earl as. Go on.
He has a very wide repertoire. Actually, you're probably
Indeed.
gonna
Yeah.
name his most famous roles, but
His
there is a role that even I've heard him in.
Yeah, I mean, within context, I know him very well as LeChuck from the Secret
I know him.
Monkey series.
Yep, he is the narrator of the World of Warcraft like when you first create a character, when you used to create a character in World of Warcraft, he was the narration for coming into the starting zones.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's also appeared in.
As the news was spreading of his passing, I was surprised to learn that he was also in the Terminator.
Yes, he was in the
'Cause
Terminator.
I only knew him. I predominantly knew him as LeChuck.
Well,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of things. For example, I could just go through some of his accolades here. In terms of animation and gaming.
Wait, wasn't he the Lich King at some point?
I believe so. He was the president in a mask. He was in Extreme Ghostbusters. He voiced Rhino in the new Batman Adventures. Red Skull in Spider-Man. That's what I got. Yeah, that's what I got. In Tenshu 2 is the narrator. He was starting Star Trek Voyager, Elite Force. He was the voice of Rex in Toy Story Racer. Commander Lyle Rourke in Atlantis: The Lost Empire Search for the Journal and Trial by Fire. And also
Wow.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Many kind of background voices. The Sarafan Lord in Blood Omen 2.
Well, he did have an amazing voice. So
Amazing the voice.
Everyone would take him.
It's Spectre Legrasse from Eternal Darkness, Dante's Requiem, like the kind of pop culture game there, and also continued being the narrator in the Tenchu series as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has more World of Warcraft credits because I know.
Oh, he does.
Because I know him as I know him as the narrator for the starting zones, but he's got a shit ton more. Because I remember reading an article and being like, "Yo, hey yo, what?"
And Lemming, you would know him as Colonel Sergei Gulukovich from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yep.
As for the World of Warcraft, King Tyrannus Menthil.
Tyrannus Menthil.
Menthil.
Yeah. So he wasn't the Lich King. He was just the Lich King's dad.
Hakima the Wise as well.
I don't know who that.
Well, there we
But
go.
yeah, he was the narrator. So
Yeah, what an icon. Of course, LeChuck perhaps one of his most famous roles because that is what he is iconically known for. Of course, taken over by Jesse Harland. Quite almost like we're passing of the torch. How the year after Return to Monkey Island comes out, where he's no longer part of that, he unfortunately passes on. Which
oh, he was Nemesis in the black and white game.
that's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've lost an icon this year, everyone.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
He did retire a couple of years ago from voice acting. So,
Well, acting in general.
Some of the from acting in general, some of the sources were saying that it was due to an illness that he was struggling with, that ultimately led to his passing away.
We'll miss him regardless.
Yeah, but we'll miss him very much. Yeah.
His legacy lives on through the works of his past.
Yeah. But we do have all the games to remember him by, and it's funny how he's tangled in all our favorite games as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that's my part of the news done. Bird, do you want to talk about your news article for the month?
Oh yes, let me talk about mine. So, have you guys heard about this game? It's not Homeworld 3, I promise. It's called,
Fuck Homeworld 3.
we got most of the way into January before the meme.
Yeah, it's a small game called Dwarf Fortress.
I've heard of this. Yes,
I have not, but you do talk to me.
I've heard of this eldritch being.
Well, I mean, this is a game that has debuted in 2006, but it has debuted as a free game, and you could play for free. Just download it and have fun. It was like
not have
free.
graphics until relatively.
It was like it was even probably even earlier, but the official release was in 2006. It was almost a 20-year permanent free to play early access because the developers have been developing and changing and tweaking and modifying and adding content to the game all the time.
It's fucking wild.
Now,
like really fucking wild.
Yeah, and this is one of those super hardcore difficult games that simulates everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Yeah, I think it even simulates like beards growing on women, on women, if I remember. Yeah, it's that in depth, and like it didn't have graphics until relatively recently.
Yeah.
It would just be like ASCII.
Yeah,
like,
it was the NetHack rogue level graphics made of ASCII art.
Yes.
And by ASCII art, I mean art made of ASCII characters.
Yeah, it was literally just letters and numbers and stuff like that.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, so like a dragon would be an @@ character and such,
Wow. So is it getting like is it getting like a new version of it or something?
So it got a new version. It got a graphics overlay, and it was released on Steam as a paid game on 6th of December, 2022.
Right.
So about 18 years, no, not 18, 16 years after the release. So it was released for $30 for a game that before that was and it still is free if you want to. So you'd probably think no one wanted it. Well, you'd be wrong. It was sold 160,000 times.
Wow.
Over the first 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, currently on Steam, all reviews are pointing towards overwhelmingly positive.
Oh, that's great.
300,000 times in the first week. And in December, the company that created it was saying that 1 million users has it in the wish list. So I'm waiting for the meme reference now.
No, what are you looking for?
Okay, I'll do it then. The 300,000 units and 1 million more on the way.
We have over 16,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Yeah, but so even though this game used to be free, now it's $30, and there's a great show of how people love this game because this this game has a very intensely devoted and zealous community, which is at the same time non-toxic and accepting to newcomers. Except they all pity the newcomers because this game is nails to the
Huh.
um
Sounds like the FromSoft community could learn a lot from them.
yeah
Yeah.
And the
it's
Tarkov community
it's
could learn something.
yeah it's indeed. But interestingly, there was a post like a few hours after on the community hub on Steam. There was a post a few hours after the release that was, let me pull it up and read it to you. So the post was, watch the review count and tell me how sane people can post a gushing positive 10 out of 10 game of the century review on day one. 20 minutes ago, the count of reviews was 1,700. Now it's 1,900. Have all those people been playing free Dwarf Fortress for 25 years and now just waiting for an opportunity to pay $30?
Yes.
And guess what?
Yeah.
This post has 279 pages of replies just saying yes.
It turns
Yes.
out that if you don't fuck your community around and actually treat their game and them really well, the
Yeah.
community responds in kind. Funny.
Yeah, and
Because
the best most positive thing of it all is that the developers, one, they became millionaires overnight because suddenly they sold 300,000 copies of a game, and two, they said that they're going to continue business as usual, so they're going to churn out modifications and updates and tweaks uh, as long as possible because they just love the game.
It does make you wonder if because there have been games over the years that I feel like should have
Mm,
sold a lot more than they did, like
mm,
the Command and Conquer Remastered collection. I know that three of us, myself, Burr, and Lemming, kind of really like that series. And that it didn't really sell very well, even though it was ticking all the boxes. It makes you wonder,
mm.
like, is it just because it has that association with EA that puts people off, even though it's a good game?
I wouldn't put it past them.
possibly, and also there was
Yeah.
that thing they did use the Command and Conquer license for a mobile game,
Yeah, crappy
Mm.
which
mobile
probably
tug of war
put a
game.
lot of people off, and were like, "Well, we don't fucking trust you."
Well, that to be fair, that was before the remastered collection came out.
True, but
That's
some gamers have very long
Oh,
memories.
memories. Yeah.
yeah. Also, if you don't market well enough, people will still uh, assume and associate it with, maybe they're still advertising that mobile game. I don't want to know anything about it, and you don't
The
investigate
thing is,
further.
what I would have thought, I feel like that would be the ideal kind of protest if you were like buying that to like I
Mm,
don't want a mobile game. I want this. I want the remaster. I want like
mm,
the remastered, and so
yeah.
you buy that to show like I want this a game to return. But yeah,
Well,
because I was hoping
Yeah.
by
Hell,
now.
I bought the
yeah,
remastered twice.
I was hoping by now that we'd hear about rumblings about the remastered collection
yeah.
too. But sadly, I don't know if that's
I
gonna be a thing.
I fear that it might be just like Solo was paying for The Last Jedi in the box office as movie.
Mm,
Command and Conquer Remaster might have been paying for the mobile game.
which is shame. It's a shame. Go on, Shadow.
No, I just
I mean, I get that people can object, but object to the product, not things after the product. Like, for example, Metroid Dread came out, was really good. You know,
Mm. Yeah, true. On one hand, it is a shame, but on the other hand, I was thinking about Command and Conquer Remastered, but there, even though I have a lot of sentiment and a lot of nostalgia for that title, but then I was thinking there is so many games that I have not played yet. I have played Command and Conquer games.
true.
So if I get a remastered version, I will be playing the same game except much nicer, much more. It will be looking just like that game was looking through nostalgia glasses to me back those 15, 20 years ago.
But thing is,
So I'll be playing the exact same game again.
but
And
still, it's good
that wasn't on my radar.
it's good for preservation, is what my point is as well.
Yes.
It's good so that if someone wants to play that in the
Mm.
future, they can very easily play that. Is there more
Yeah,
to
that is true.
the story then, Bert?
No, that's just it. It was just a great success for a game that absolutely deserved it.
Yeah,
Because
it's
the
a
developers
great
are
thing.
incredibly devoted,
Absolutely.
and by that they got a huge community of devoted players.
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean it's an amazing statistic to say. Yep, you've been building this thing up and up and
Yeah.
up for this many years, and then
Yeah.
you raised $9 million in 6 days.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, and now you can this is one of the very few positive examples of reaping what you sow.
Yep.
So that's very wholesome, isn't that right, Shadow? Very wholesome.
Yeah,
Very
that would be
wholesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice if more
Yeah.
corporations did that.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Yeah, it would be.
And we move on to another wholesome thing, which is Lemmings topic.
Mm.
Then we'll get to Shadow's topic.
Yeah.
So go on, bring up Lemming. You were talking about Henry Cavill, aren't you?
Yes. The current sitting champion of nerdity, the living embodiment of the Emperor of Mankind, many would say, recently vacated the spot of Geralt from the Netflix Witcher series, and has immediately stepped into the boots of what everybody wants him to do, which is helming a Warhammer 40,000 series, which, as a 40k fan, I'm very much excited for. He has been chosen to star in and executive produce a Warhammer 40,000 franchise for Amazon. Just has the community has been looking at this guy going, he's attractive, he's intelligent, he's funny, he's a nerd, he made his own gaming PC, he's into tabletop gaming. What's that? He's actually executive producing and is part of a 40k series. Yes.
I mean,
Hell yes.
I think
Give this man what he wants.
I think we all agree that Henry Cavill is basically the very epitome of what a human being almost should be. And it's like, he's first of all, he's incredibly handsome.
He's
Incredibly
very pretty.
Yes,
He's a very pretty
yes, he
man.
is.
incredibly stacked as well. He's
Yes.
played Superman, and very well as well, I might say. Even if he was given a crap script to work with by a hack, and he also is a nerd who builds his own gaming PC and plays with miniature Space Marines.
I mean,
Yeah,
he nearly missed his audition for Superman because he was playing World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Yeah, and he missed the phones from his manager. Yeah,
I
really
love
that he's an ambassador of the nerds.
I love that he's ambassador of nerds and doesn't look anything like the idea of what you think a nerd would look like. So
No.
that's what I love, is that he's not conventionally, not your conventional kind of nerd, as it were.
Yeah.
No, he was starring an executive.
Yeah, Shadow.
Shadow.
It's like it's not the nerd you would expect.
No.
Not the stereotypical kind of thought.
No,
Although I
Amazon
hope
Prime
that
Video
will-
has
Sorry.
acquired the global rights to the 40k IP from Games Workshop across film, TV, and more, making it the first major acquisition of its kind for Amazon Studios. Games Workshop will continue making the popular miniatures, but they have the global rights to basically any sort of media. And they've given him the keys.
Dang.
They could be in better hands, in my opinion.
I'm really holding my fingers crossed for that, especially since this time Henry Cavill is going to be the executive producer. He didn't have much luck so far because he was being Superman, but those movies he played in mostly sucked, except for maybe Cavill's and Batfleck's and maybe a couple other actors playing. Mostly they sucked. Then he got into The Witcher, which had great moments, but in general, after good season one, the show also sucked horribly. Which is why Cavill decided to leave it. But now he's not going to play in something that he has not much influence about. He's being the executive producer, so
He has
as
massive
much
control.
as As much as I don't trust those bastards at Amazon as far as I can throw a stick at
No,
them,
no.
especially after what they've done to my beloved Tolkien's Legendary.
Look at that massive record, my boy.
Yeah, they have absolutely massacred, maimed, and hewn my boy. So I'm really hoping that Henry Cavill, with his passion and with his dedication, is gonna do something good out of it for a change.
So to end this little bit on a quote from Cavil himself, in a statement he released, "I have loved Warhammer since I was a boy, making the moment truly special for me. The opportunity to shepherd this cinematic universe from its inception is quite an honor and the responsibility."
If there's ever a property that could get away with having such a big cinematic universe, it is Warhammer. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got Space Marine 2 coming out later this year as a game, which everyone's been
Mhm.
wanting for ages. I might pick that up. Like, I'm not even into
Yeah.
Warhammer. I might pick up that fucking game.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it for sure. But there's only one problem. There's only one problem with like the whole like cinematic universe for them is they have spent Games Workshop has spent the past year basically shanghaiing and buying out a lot of good indie anime 40k and Warhammer content on their own little streaming service in the corner that only people who know about this are aware of, and then made it a subscription service. And now I'm just sitting here going, well, I love this stuff, but I'm not paying you because I already have 8 different subscriptions every month. So now nobody's paying for the subscription service with lots of good animation in, and it's not going very well. But hopefully this will see a change.
Well, from one subscription service to another, I think. Shadow, hi.
Right then.
Yeah,
Right.
you've got
I hope
quite
you
an
guys are
article.
sitting comfortably, because I'm going to tell you a story. A story of corporations and stupidity and open game licenses and just how to burn your business down in about a week's time. Okay, so
10 days. The series of events that Shadow is about to describe happened over 10 days. Okay.
10 days. And I know because I was like a part of them, and I remember how fucking hectic it was. Okay,
I was
so
there,
first,
Gandalf.
okay, so first I've got to tell you a story. I've got to tell you a story. Hop in my DeLorean. We're heading back to 2000 to the year 2000. It's the year 2000, and Ryan Dancy is the vice president of Wizards of the Coast, who now own D&D. He looks upon the scene of the TTRPGs and he thinks, I have a problem. You see, the thing about D&D and TTRPGs is a thing is that in order for them to keep turning over, they need to produce adventures. Slight problem. Even though D&D is played with multiple people, only one person needs the adventure at any one time. The DM, or just a player, which DM can borrow from. And once that person has the adventure and they've played it, then it's done. And how do you keep recurring monetization? Well, Ryan Dancy looks across and sees Linux and its open projects and goes, that's a good idea. What if we get other companies to make adventures for us? Then people will keep playing D&D and spending money on dice and other things that we will keep producing over time. And and if they manage to improve on our rules, on our D&D rules, we could just take that for ourselves and make our game better. It seems like a great idea. There was a slight problem though. Back in 1999, the year before, D&D had been owned by TSR. Now, TSR had been extremely litigious. They had sued a lot of the competition out into the ground, kind of thing. They'd sued them out of business. So Ryan Dancy thought it would be a very good idea to get a whole load of people together and some lawyers, put their heads together, and they would create this open game license that we now know as the OGL. Basically, all it said was, "Hey guys, if you want to use our rules and stuff like that, and how we've set everything out in this system reference document, about how the rules are, how grappling works, stuff like that. If you want to use all of this in your own thing, go nuts. We won't sue you, kind of thing. So long as you don't use any of our trademark stuff like Mind Flayers or Beholders or Yonti or anything like that, anything named or anything. Go right ahead. Go nuts, draw nuts, do whatever kind of thing. They had to have the open game license because of how litigious TSR had been, and even then, a lot of people were going, "Are you sure? Are you sure this isn't something to wind us up?" And Wizards of the Coast literally went, "No, it's fine. You could do whatever you want with it, as long as you put this, as long as you make it clear what's open game license and what's not. Go nuts. Do whatever you want." And so for 20 long years, a whole industry boomed where you could, so long as you had the open game license and published and put it somewhere in your stuff, you could publish stuff. You could publish adventures. You could publish new creatures, all sorts of stuff. You could do it, and a whole industry bloomed and boomed. And for 20 long years, there was peace and prosperity. There was a little bit in the middle where fourth edition went a bit weird and Paizo was born. But I'm pretty sure nothing I'm pretty sure that won't come back. I'm pretty sure that's not important at all. It won't come back to bite it WOTC in the ass at all. Don't worry. It is now 2022, and WOTC declares that they are going to be making plans for the next edition. Well, it's not the next edition of D&D. It's called 1 D&D. It's 6th edition, but they can't call it 6th edition because nobody will then buy any 5th edition stuff because that's how the RPGs work. So they're like, it's 1 D&D. It's compatible with 5e. It's fine. Don't worry. It's not another edition. We're gonna make our own VTT software, our virtual tabletop. It's fine. And we're gonna update the OGL, which has been going for 20 odd years, and everyone was like, and as you can probably imagine, this sows a bit of discontent. Well, not discontent, unease among the D&D community. Everybody goes, "You updating it? Why are you updating it?" They're like, "I don't know, it's fine. Don't worry about it at all." So there's a little bit of disquiet.
Oh, look at all the new races you can play as.
No,
it's like a magic.
yeah.
It's like a magic trick. They kept on saying like, "Oh no, look at this instead."
Yeah, no. They did actually bring out open D&D stuff, and it was quite interesting. A lot of people are going, "Oh, there's a lot of good changes in here," except the bit where you choose your subclass at level 3. All classes now choose their subclass at level 3, which makes sense unless you're a cleric who has a domain, a warlock who has a patron, or a sorcerer who has an origin, and then it's like, well, surely I had those at level 1 to begin with, and it doesn't make any thematic sense. Anyway, so everything's fine. It's perfectly fine until the 5th of January. When Linda, I think it's Linda Cortega. Yes, Linda Cortega, who goes by they them pronouns, just so we're aware, dropped a bombshell on Gizmodo. They had received the new OGL 1.1, and they had received documents about it, and it was not. Put it this way, it wasn't a good look. So rumblings begin, and everybody's still quite calm. They're upset, but they're calm because it's a leak. We don't know much about it, but things begin to build because Kickstarter comes out and confirms that. So I will get into the details in a minute. Kickstarter confirms a part of the leak, and everybody's going, "Okay, this isn't good. This is not good." And then, so this happens on Monday, right? We were going to do the podcast on the Tuesday, and then due to things happening, we didn't. So I was like, okay, I'll just do these things. That Tuesday, I think it was that Tuesday, or it might have been the Wednesday.
Yep.
The full other fandoms indie publishers got the whole document, and after discussions with each other to check that it was true, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, it was a creator by the name of Instructor Boy who leaked the entire document onto the web. And the shit show began, because the thing about OGL 1.1 is that it's fucking terrible.
Yes.
So here we go. So basically, so there are some good things about 1.1 in that they're doing it to make sure that you can't make anything that's like openly like racist or homophobic or transphobic or anything. They can terminate the license at any time if you do that. And also they don't want you to make NFTs or anything to do with blockchain on it. That's great. Those are the only good things about 1.1. So I'm not going to go through the whole of it. I do have the whole license, the whole 1.1 in my hard drive somewhere. But basically the Cliff's Notes go like this. Yeah, so anything you make under the 1.1 OGL is WOTCs. They can take it whenever they want and use it, and there's nothing you could do about it. Ha ha. They could do that. If you own over $750,000, you have to send. If you earn that and above, you have to send 25% of your revenue to WOTC.
May I
It's not
interrupt?
profit, it's revenue.
May I
Yes.
interrupt? So, also, just to make you aware, everyone, yes, that's a very high bar, $750,000, and 24%. I will point out that WOTC also said that they can alter the terms of this contract any time, so they could lower that, in theory, to any amount they want and say, do you know what? If you earn over 15,000, and we'll take 100% of that, thank you.
Yeah. They said that they can alter. They can say we can alter this at any time. We just need to give you 30. We just need to give you 30 days worth of notice. That's great. And everyone's going, okay. Also, you have to tell them everything of what you make, just so they know what they can get their grubby little bits on. If you crowdfund your stuff on any other platform aside from Kickstarter, you will incur that 25% royalty. I think Kickstarter only gets only a little bit less. And also, so yeah, they steal your stuff. I say steal. They legally steal your stuff, and also they said, oh yeah, if you have stuff, a basic, and the main point of contention is that they said we're going to revoke the original OGL, and anything that would have come under the original OGL has to come under the 1.1, and guess how long they would give you? A week, 7 days to change everything. If you didn't want to be bound by 1.1, you have 7 days to change everything. So there is only one thing I can describe about the mood of the D&D community when this came out: apoplectic with rage.
Belligerent.
They were not happy. It was like, if there was one thing that could have united everybody in the D&D community, from the really stupid people, the gatekeepers, the people who think that, second edition was the best thing because you had to work uphill in the snow both ways, from LGBT creators, from people who like murder hoboing on their spare time.
Those players.
Everybody was united and went, this fucking sucks.
You what, mate?
Fuck? Yeah, and so, and bear in mind, this would put a lot of people who publish like D&D adventures out of business, kind of thing. This is their livelihoods. That's how they put food on the table. So everybody's going.
Not just that, Shadow, but here's how bad this agreement is, which I heard from someone. That not only does that put them out of business, but that stuff that was going to be released now is owned by WOTC, who can now take that stuff, publish it, put it out, and make money off their own back without giving a halfpenny to them because it's now theirs.
Yeah, exactly. That's how bad it was. and everybody was very, very angry, and they were furious. And the open D&D hashtag began, where everybody was ganging up to sign an open letter to WOTC to not do the thing. During this time, like in hindsight, this was the worst thing that WOTC could have done. Because if there's anything that TTRPG love doing, and especially DRD, it's arguing about interpretations of rules. So literally, you just given this to them, and they were ripping it to shreds. Lawyers were getting involved.
Actual lawyers were getting involved.
Yeah, the Royal Law was getting involved. People were actually, like, there was an indie company, Roll for Combat, were actually getting involved and had their lawyer on tender who was looking over this. We'll go into details about that later, because it look, a lot of stuff happens within these 10 days, okay? So
Yeah, but basically, no superhero speedsters run as fast as the community ran with it.
yes. And then I can't remember at this point, one of the bigger indie companies called Cobalt Press said, "Well, if they're going to be taking away OGL, we're going to make our own. We're going to make our own OGL with
Blackjack and hookers.
with Blackjack and hookers," and they called it Project Black Flag. So that was funny. And at this point, and then so everybody's very, very cross, and then an email is leaked from somebody in WOTC. We don't know who, and of course, even if I did know, a lot of people would keep them anonymous so they wouldn't get any backlash. So this email comes out from this WOTC insider who has been sent to multiple fan creators and stuff like that. So it was been cross-referenced and checked to make sure it's legit. And they said that one, WOTC and Hasbro higher ups could not give a shit about the community. They see that they don't care about you. They think you're overreacting. They're just generally derisive to you. They think, and all they think is they see you as an obstacle to their money. And the only way you can get, and the thing is, the only way you can get a message through is to cancel your D&D Beyond subscriptions. Now, D&D Beyond, to be quick, is basically an aggregate of where you can put all your character sheets and stuff like that. You can pay microtransactions to get to use stuff from other books. So you could use everything from the player's manual like normally, and then you have to pay money to get to use content from other books. Like you need to pay money to get stuff from like Volos in order to use Tabaxi and a thing.
Just to interrupt, I have put the email, which you can find on Reddit, up on the screen right now. And reading it, hi, I'm an employee at WOTC, currently working on D&D Beyond, DDB, and with D&D business leaders on the health of the product line. If you want, I can provide proof of this. I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of a community I love. I know what the leaders at WOTC are looking at. And bullet points, 4 of them. They are briefly delaying the rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. The decision making is based entirely on the probable impact of their bottom line. Specifically, they are looking at DDB subscriptions and cancellations, as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. They are still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can still push this through. I've decided to reach out because at my time in WOTC, I never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Their communication gives me the impression they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. The DDB team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes, an online portal where they got back from holidays, and leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on the OGL was 30 minutes on the 1st of 11th, 2023. This was the first time they ever tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees, and even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. I will repeat, the main thing that this leadership is looking at are DDB subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well. Redacted name. P.S. I'll be copying and pasting this message to other community leaders.
So with
typical corporate bullshit then.
Yeah. So with that rallying cry, people started cancelling their D&D Beyond subscriptions. So many people did that actually that the unsubscribe page on D&D Beyond actually crashed. And in a desperate attempt to prevent this from happening, D&D Beyond has a little like quick menu where you can access your subscribe status. They hit that. They hit that subscribe button so people couldn't get there so quickly. But they still did. And oh boy, it was so fucking fun because
sorry,
and
I'm gonna go through that again. I can't believe people think it's like, okay, so instead of solving the actual problem, let's just make it harder for them to unsubscribe. For fuck's sake, you know?
yeah. So there was going to be an announcement about the OGL 1.1 on the Thursday. So I stayed up. Because I thought this was going to happen. So everybody stayed up. It was it was going to be a Twitch stream on D&D Beyond. So I stayed up and watched it, and basically the Twitch stream that was going to happen was cancelled. Apparently they were too scared. So let me just make this clear. WOTC had said nothing since Monday. So we're up to Thursday. They've said nothing, and all of this has come out, and they've cancelled the stream. So the stream's cancelled, and I'm like, well, I've got work tomorrow. I'll go to bed. I go to bed, wake up the next morning, and fucking Paizo has just walked in. I wake up to find out that Paizo has walked in and slammed their fucking big dick on the table, and and it's just
And
what
he's
happened.
big.
What happened later, ladies and gents? You will amaze you because with what's his silence. Paizo gained the initiative when they posted their statement. So what Paizo essentially did, we're going to paraphrase because it's a long one. Basically, what they said was, we don't think the OGL could be revoked because one, we were there when you made it, and two, if you think you can revoke it, you'll have to go through us. We're going to take you to, if you want to go through us, we're going to take you to court. But we don't think you should take us to. We're going to take you to court for the sake of our indie companies who can't, kind of thing. So but not only in that ballsy ass move of we don't think the OGL could be revoked, and also if you fucking try, we're gonna fight you with our money. They also said, right, we see what's going on here, so we're gonna make our own open game license. They're gonna make their own open game license called the Open RPG Creative License, otherwise known as ORC. And they said, well, we're going to make it system agnostic, and it's going to be perpetual and irrevocable. So fuck you, can't revoke it, nah 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 nah, kind of thing. And in what can only be described as the most classy move a company can make, they said, "All right, we see what's going on here. So what we're going to do is we'll pay for this. We'll pay for the legal costs it takes to make this open game license. But what we're going to do is we're going to give it to our law firm, and what they're going to do, they're going to find somebody who's very good with the open game licenses, like Linux. Hey, see, that came back around to Linux. So whatever happens later, like if there's corporate acquisitions or mergers and stuff like that, nobody can revoke it. Like, we're going to take it out of our hands. So even if something happens to us, it can't be revoked, kind of thing. It will stay there. Once it's done, it's in perpetuity, kind of thing.
Quoting from this article on the Paizo blog where they announced this, which again, this is on January 12th. The ORC will not be owned by Paizo, nor will it be owned by any company who makes money publishing RPGs, as well as law's ownership of the process and stewardship should provide a safe harbor against any company being bought, sold, or changing management in the future and attempting to rescind rights or nullify sections of the license. Ultimately, we plan to find a non-profit with a history of open source values to own this license, such as the Linux Foundation.
Yeah, that was so in WOTC's complete silence, they had allowed Paizo to take the initiative and literally just steal the day. Basically, just go, yeah, well, I don't think you can cancel OGL, but even if you try, we'll try and stop you, and then we're going to make our own license with Blackjack and Hooker, so we don't. So in the end, we won't even need you, kind of thing. So after all this palaver happens, and everybody's singing Paizo's name, me included, because like if there's any excuse from, and also what's quite funny is as Ebak is showing on the screen, if you read that final paragraph, they are actually advertising some of their products, and take notice of how much percentage they're taking off their products. 25%. which a lot of people think is a deliberate dig against WOTC. So after all this goes completely nuts. So this is Thursday, right? Then yesterday, oh no, Friday, WOTC finally comes crawling out of whatever fucking hole they've come out of.
As you can
And
see
they
right here.
Yeah, and they released their statement. And it's like, basically, this statement that you can see on the screen is full of so much gaslighting and spin doctoring, it has its own gravitational pull. Basically, it's a whole load of guff of like, oh, we're sorry, you misunderstood us.
Would you like me to read it, Shadow?
No, because it doesn't. No, because I am not giving this gaslighting. I'm not giving this gaslighting company trying to rewrite history and the facts any airtime. It'll be here so people can read it. So you can pause the stream if you're watching this on the VOD. Just pause the VOD to read it yourself. But it's a gaslighting, stupid fucking shit, and I'm not dating it with any.
And if
But put it.
there is a good
But there
section.
is one line.
There's one line we should read. There's one line we should read because it pretty much it's proves why we don't want to do this. And that is about a statement. And I'm going to put it up in here with the word one. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. But it is coming. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will be only half right. They won, and so did we.
You gaslighting, salty motherfuckers.
Our plan was to always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL.
And why was it leaked?
Bullshit!
The drafts,
Yes.
the drafts you were seeing were attempting to do that. We want to always delight fans and create experiences together that everyone loves. We realize we did not do that this time. We are sorry for that. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which did not, which we ultimately got from you. Any change this major could only have been done well if we were willing to take that feedback, no matter how it was provided, so we are. Thank you for caring enough to let us know what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you. Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the no OGL matchup principles. Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. We love D&D's devoted players and their creators and their money. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to add the and their money part. Who take them on so many incredible adventures. We won't let you down. The money part is not part of that. It's just.
Yeah.
No.
Let's just remove the mask off it. Oh my god, corporate control!
Basically, they like there is actually a even funnier, like, somebody did a meme of this, and honestly, it would have been better than this fucking statement, which is, oh, well, please give us your money back. Come on, guys, this isn't funny, kind of thing.
It smacks.
Yeah.
Go on.
Referring to the one last sentence, Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi summed it up perfectly. Amazing. Everything you just said is false.
Yes, exactly, because they're saying that 1.1 was a draft. It wasn't.
Was a draft.
Because many creators confirmed that it came along with a contract.
And they were already trying to coerce people to sign the contracts with that document, so it wasn't a draft at all.
And nowhere in this statement does it say that they are leaving the 1.0 OGL alone. That's the only thing anybody wants, is the 1.0 OGL left alone. But none of that says anything. It'll say stuff like, "Oh yeah, well we won't do the royalty thing," and "Oh, you'll own your creations." Like, no, that was just a misunderstanding.
And
misunderstanding, and everybody's just like, "Yeah, but you're not addressing the point. You're not addressing any of our points. You're just gaslighting and being fucking salty about it."
I want to kind of drive back to the email that we were reading about, like, how the upper management consider their customers these people a obstacle to money. And here's the thing again, that if you read the two things back to back, they are completely incompatible, because there's like, oh, we always want to facilitate the community. No, you saw the community as an obstacle and thought they were overreacting. You know, no, there's you're it's and I
It's
absolutely
You're lying through
only
your
when the
teeth.
bottom line started getting hurt and they were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
type of thing.
and
It's
you
like looking at their contract with how much they're concentrating on. If you make this much money, then you have to give us some. And I was just reading the whole thing. I'm just like, they're being more invasive than the IRS.
Yeah, and the thing
How
is,
is this
like,
legal?
and the thing is, like, there is a point in the 1.1 where it was like, well, the OGL was never like, what was really fucking ironic is like it says, well, the OGL was never meant to support competition and stuff like that. It was supposed to allow our fans to create things. It's like, well,
Not
congrats,
according to the
you piece
creator.
of shit, because you know, I mentioned like something happened back in D&D's past about 4th edition. Well, you
Well,
see what
yeah.
happened in 4th edition in that WotC decided they were going to make a new game license that was more draconian than the original OGL. And you know what happened?
No, what happened?
Well, Paizo was born. You see, was born, and everybody looked at the draconian GDL and went, "No, I ain't signing that. We're going to use the old one. We're going to use the OGL." Because that what you just offered is a piece of shit. And in doing so, Paizo was born and became D&D's main competitor in the space, creating Pathfinder. And nobody used the GL, which you had to use in order to publish stuff for 4E. And 4E disappeared into the wastes of nowhere, and D&D just disappeared for a while until they went back to the OGL for 5th edition, and suddenly D&D's popular again. Very interesting. And then it almost seems like history is repeating itself.
Not just that,
Very
but
strange.
D&D is at the height of its popularity and perhaps ever. You know, with it being such a widespread thing, with Critical Role being a thing, with it appearing in Stranger Things, more and more people who never even heard of this are getting into the hobby and are enjoying it. We're experiencing like a golden age of RPG playing in terms of players, and I think it's like the what's the other thought that, oh, we can monetize that. We can make some lovely money out of this, boys.
Yeah.
However, what's the and the movie, as weird points
And
out.
the movie.
Yeah, and a
But
movie.
what they fail to realize is that we're also in a golden age where we're sport for choice for RPGs.
Yeah. And I was there's something very interesting that I have neglected to mention until this point until right now. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, the OGL basically says you can use the system reference document to create your D&D stuff. And what that allows is for people to take wholesale from the system reference document. They could just literally copy and paste. Because you see, the systems document is about game mechanics. And what's the thing about game mechanics? You can't copyright them.
Nope.
So the thing is, and also because of the way the OGL works, it's a quid pro quo in that WotC gives people basically WotC says, hey, you can use our systems reference document for your stuff and we won't sue you. In doing so, they receive their name spread out into the wider populace, and the people who publish receive money and the clout of being, linked to D&D. It's a quid pro quo. And in doing so, even though the original document does not explicitly say it's irrevocable, it becomes irrevocable because of the quid pro quo, the equivalent exchange going on. And also, it's been going on for 20 years. Now, the longer a contract goes on for, without it being revoked, means that the company has less and less of an opportunity to win in a court battle in order to revoke it. Because it's been going on for 20 years and now only you've had a problem with it? What the fuck, guys? Now the problem is, so the big problem is that WOTC have walked into a trap here. So the first thing is like nobody like they can't. It's very doubtful they can even revoke 1.1a. So people can just use 1.1a and not have to sign up to 1.1, and there's probably nothing they could do about it. But if WOTC calls Paizo's bluff and they go into court, WOTC, it's not very. I'm not going to say it's very likely, but the problem is if a judge looks too closely at what the system's reference document is and sees that they are quote unquote copywriting game mechanics, there's a possibility. I'm not going to make like I'm not going to say it's like a little possibility or a big possibility, but it's a possibility that a judge can look at that and go, "Are you trying to copyright game mechanics? Because you're not allowed to do that, and in doing so, WOTC could lose everything because you can't do that, and yet the systems document is all about
Is
game
exactly
mechanics."
that.
Yeah, so they are treading a very fine line that's not been tested in court yet. But if it is tested, WOTC can't fucking do anything anyway, and two, if they try to, it can end out very, very badly for them.
I'm also going to point out, I just got the OG license 1.1 up here. If anyone wants to read it. And I'm going to say, for legal reasons, this is the alleged document that leaked online and is the alleged 1.1
No,
document.
it's been confirmed to be the proper thing.
No need to cover our own asses here.
Yeah, it's no longer the copied. It's no longer the copy that they're using anymore because they're calling the next one 2.0. But yeah, this is 1.1 here.
Cool.
That's
fine. That's fine. What's the take my middle finger? There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. So this is 1.1, and it's the early draft.
The early draft. Yeah.
Which was given as a contract. So yeah, fuck these guys. So yeah, so basically, once it can go get fucked, people are going to keep using the 1.1 because Paizo's called your bluff and said that you can't revoke it anyway, and even if you do take it to court, there's a possibility you can lose everything. So good luck with that. So if you want my opinion, that the orc is a very good thing. We will have to wait until it actually comes out to see the legal jargon before we can make like a proper judgment on it. But the noises that Paizo is making is very good. I would recommend that you learn, and I would recommend that you learn Pathfinder because learning more TTRPG systems is always a good thing, and also fuck fuck WOTC, and WOTC can suck my cock because they can go get fucked. But don't let this stop you playing D&D because remember, WOTC needs the D&D community more than the D&D community needs them, kind of thing. So basically, just take D&D and don't let them like color your view of D&D. And it was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. I think it's more just of like, oh yeah, good job burning your goodwill down, WOTC. Now nobody will fucking now nobody trusts you ever again.
That's the thing, is even if they backpedal on everything, no one will trust them ever again. Because like, well, you've now tried this twice, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, and also there are discounts on Paizo's store if you want the beginner box or some of their stuff. I'm probably going to get the beginner box for Pathfinder because I would like to learn how to play it, or maybe Starfinder too. Don't know. It's a bit expensive, so
yeah, the community has its own inertia, so it will take time. But I feel like in a year's or 2 years' time, we'll see everyone switch to Pathfinder, and there will be people will be creating thing under the Orcs license. So it's a good idea to start now.
yeah. Well,
Also,
yeah, and the thing is, like, it's going to be system agnostic, so you can have a lot of unfortunately a lot of games like housed under one license. It could even be like you could even be have like even if we want even if like it's not FFD, it's Edge now, isn't it?
Edge
That has
Publishing, yeah.
yeah yeah
Yeah.
Edge Publishing Star Wars RPG that could go like hide happily under the underskirts of the
Yeah.
Orc license if it wanted
Yeah.
to, kind of
So
thing.
also that's a good thing to base yourself on if you're this sort of small system that was before like a reskin of D&D, like Mass Effect or Doctor Who or whatever,
Mm.
that
Yeah,
people
pretty
wanted
much.
to create. They would flourish under original RPG creative license.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that I didn't bring up
Mm.
because 1.1 has been pulled back now. But on the 1.1, it said that basically that if you publish under the OGL 1.1, well, if you publish under 1.1a and it moved into 1.1, then WotC would own would be able to use whatever. So the slight problem with that was there was a role playing game come out at some point. What was it? Oh yes, Lord of the Rings. I'm sure the highly litigious Tolkien estate would just let WotC take that and publish that, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Lord, yeah. It's like Tolkien say that's now ours. We'll take that. Thank you very much. To make the money off that. Even
Yeah.
though we've also ripped off all your content previously to make our own races and species anyway.
No, Xandros. KOTOR 1 does not use the OGL license. Brian Dancy was interviewed about this, and KOTOR, Lucasfilm, and was the Coast have their own separate agreement and contract that supersedes the OGL. So whilst that was reported, and I falsely reported on that as well, they don't use the OGL, so they will Disney, unfortunately, will not be brought into this fight. But
Which
we
is such
got
a
we
That would
got
have been
shame.
interesting.
Oh, that would have been fascinating to see that.
that would have been so
Yeah.
fucking funny, honestly.
Yeah, that would be like Disney being this hulking giant standing out like you were saying something, and what it would be. No,
Yeah, don't worry
no.
about it, Xandros, because I didn't know until
Uh,
relatively
mm,
recently. I'll find the interview in I'll find the interview in which they talk about it, and I'll
mm.
put it in the chat. Hasbro versus the Mouse would have been
Hasbro
funny.
versus the Mouse would have been a squash
Yeah.
match.
Well, that would
Yes.
be one of those corporate wars that are mentioned in the history of Cyberpunk 2020 and then 2077.
The
That were
Hasbro
at
versus
the
Disney
beginning of the
war.
yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. That would have been so.
Have we
Insane.
exhausted this topic?
Pretty much. Aside from going, don't do this.
Yeah,
Don't
do
do this.
Also,
This is such a
I do
idea.
feel the need to shout out another content creator on this whole subject.
Go on.
Legal Eagle did a 20-minute video on,
Oh,
this whole debacle.
I
Oh,
have
yes.
A
I
very
have to
good
watch.
legal representation on what's going on. So I'd fully recommend going to the Legal Eagle channel for more info.
Especially
Yeah,
as,
that's
go
yeah,
on.
because I watched him actually this morning, and that's why I've changed some of what I've been saying a little bit, which is why I was saying, well, I allow you to do their content. Nah, it's more to use the systems reference document without so technically you don't even need the OGL at all. It's
Nope.
more a safeguard to say, hey, we're not going to sue you if you do, because also it allows people to just copy and paste from the systems reference document straight in. Because, do you really want to have to re-explain how grapple works? Fuck me. Kind of thing. It's just easier just to go, yeah. Control C, Control V. Yes, put the license in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing is, I need to watch that because there's so many people on Twitter who are like, oh, these people who are apparently now lawyers weighing in. It's like, yeah, because there are actual fucking lawyers weighing in on this. People are getting lawyers involved because this is kind of important.
Because they've been lawyers for many years now, so suddenly,
Anyway,
yeah, legal, the rules lawyer had their channels for a long time now. So
Yes.
let's move on to the topic
they are
of
actual lawyers.
the actual topic of today, which is the Game Awards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got there in the
After I
end.
told you a whole story. Got there in the end.
So the Game Awards happened just prior to the Christmas break, around the 8th of December. We were going to cover that in December's podcast, but the podcast got pushed back. And I just thought that we'd quickly go through the events of the Game Awards 2022. So, stay put, everyone, as there's a long thing to go down here. Let's start off with the opening of the show. As always, Jeff comes in. Fantastic. It's all a big spectacle. We love it. First award, Al Pacino comes out to present the Best Performance Award, which the nominees were Ashley Birch for Horizon, Charlotte McBurney for A Plague Tale Requiem, and Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok, Matt Gage for Immortality, and Sonny Sujic for God of War Ragnarok. Winner, Christopher Judge for his performance as Kratos in God of War Ragnarok, who gave the longest acceptance speech in the history of man, I think, at 8 minutes long, which, to be fair, he deserved it.
Yeah. But still, you're right, ever since a man accepted anything, that was the longest. The Game Awards did not yet have the get off the stage tune like the Oscars have.
They just started trying to do everything they could. You could almost tell that Pacino was just there, like, come on,
Yeah.
we're gonna get this show rolling.
I'm old, my legs are shaking already.
But not just that, I think Jeff made a good joke about that, so that's quite funny. After that, we had the Hades 2 reveal, which won a weird FTW in the chat. Would have been very pleased about. We then
I
had
still didn't play the first one.
yeah, same. I don't know how I even play it. I don't think it's my sort of thing. We'll see. We then had Judas reveal, which is a very Bioshock, got very big Bioshock vibes off that. I'm not sure people felt about that. We then had a very big surprise, which is Bayonetta Origins, Caesar and the Lost Demon reveal. Interesting, a Bayonetta kind of origin story, but not in the style of a Bayonetta,
Yeah,
beat 'em
it
up,
looked
slack
a
and
bit
slash.
like
Storybook.
it looked a bit like they were making a Bayonetta run game or something.
It's
It looked good. It looked interesting.
interesting. Next on that was Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, which is the Ghostbusters VR reveal, which I am most definitely picking that up for my quest.
Yep.
Yes.
We then got a live performance of Blood on the Snow from God of War Ragnarok by Bear Mercury and the Game Award Orchestra. Fantastic performance.
Yeah.
And
guess what Twitch did with that?
Actually, no, we did hear.
Yeah, they silent.
No, we did hear that. That's one of the things we did actually hear on that show, if I recall.
We did manage to hear that. Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay,
It was copyrighted music inside the trailers. We couldn't fucking hear.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay. Then Jessica Hennick, along with Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson, from Glass Onion, came out and presented Best Debut Indie Game, which the nominees were Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors, with the winner being Stray.
Kitty.
Not surprising.
Prove that if you slap a cat on something, it'll win.
Hey, as I've played Stray, and actually, it's quite a decent game.
Yeah,
and it's
even. Yeah, I mean, without the kitty, it wouldn't be as much of a hit as it was, but it still would be a solid game. However, adding a pretty realistic kitty and kitty behavior really made that game amazing.
It's also voice acted by a Kit Kat.
Yeah, we got Destiny 2
voice acted by a real cat.
We got Destiny 2 Lightfall debut, so DLC for that. Then a Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League trailer, which of course paid tribute to the late Kevin Conroy, who is confirmed to be voicing the role of Batman in that game, which in his final ever performance, which that's gonna shift some units. Definitely, I'm picking that up when I get an opportunity to. Party Animals was then revealed, which is kind of like a Falls, kind of like a Gang Beats style game, but with animal kind of like skins.
Yeah.
I already had it wishlisted.
I mean, it's kind of been teased, that game, in like the game show, and I think on some of the E3 replacement.
When is it?
Conferences.
I want to throw my friends off the side of a plane.
Yeah, I want to be Burr.
Then we had The Last of Us Part 1 announced for PC coming on the 3rd of March 2023.
Yeah.
So that's a big
Good.
thing. Followed immediately by Sidney Goodman presenting the winner for Best Adaptation as for a video game, which, of course, the nominees were Arcane League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and the Uncharted movie. Winner being Arcane League of Legends. Never seen it, can't comment on it. So, yeah.
A lot of people say it's good, but that's about
I've
all I-
seen clips. I haven't watched the entire thing, but I've seen clips. I've seen Miracle of Sound's music video on it, and it looks amazing. But not really my style.
Perhaps the game that might be my game of the year 2023 was then revealed. Star Wars Jedi Survivor gets a release date of the 17th of March 2023. It looks pretty good. Pretty solid as a game. I
Pretty
cannot
sweet.
wait. That's probably going to be the first big game of 2023 for me. Followed immediately by the Earthblade reveal from the Celeste creator, which also looked pretty good. Metroidvania, yes, sign me up.
Yes.
I'm on board. There was then a game that Shadow got fairly interested in, which is the Dune Awakening reveal. But then you realize it's the MMO, and then thought, no.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, "Yay, Dune game!" It's not a strategy. I can actually play a person. It's just fucking MMO.
it's an MMO. Watch it do the bare minimum, and then you know what's likely to happen if it's not behind. If it's either going to get cancelled or it's going to be shit. That's my
Yeah, or both.
that's my predictions.
The
Come
Forspoken
back in the future if I'm wrong.
the Forspoken demo was then announced to be live on the PlayStation 5 at that time, and I've played the demo. Pretty good. I like it. Looking forward to picking it up when it actually comes out later this month. Death Stranding 2 was then revealed with Hideo Kojima live and in person, because naturally, he being friends with Jeff, he's there. So yeah, I mean, I do like all the memes coming out of that. It's like, wow, the new Nintendo DS looks pretty wild. But yes, yeah, I've not played Death Stranding 1. I need to play Death Stranding 1. It's one of those games which is like, it's on my list, but everyone keeps saying, oh, it only gets good like 10 hours in. I'm like, I don't have 10 hours to play to get to the good parts. Thank you very much.
No, it's weird and it's bizarre and it's confusing all the way through ever since first minute to the last minute.
So it's Santa Kojima.
Typical Kojima.
Yeah.
It's a Kojima game.
It's a Kojima game.
Because Metal Gear Solid are first Metal Gear Solid games, then Kojima games. Death Stranding is Kojima game first.
Okay, true. Next is one I'm interested in, even though others may not be, and that's the Immortals of Avium, which looks to be like a first-person shooter magic-based game. So like you're first person, but you're doing magic. You're not shooting guns. I thought, well, that's very interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
So yeah, I'll sign me up. I'll keep an eye on that. Raoul Kuli, and I'm probably butchering that name, presented Best Narrative, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. The winner, God of War Ragnarok. Tekken 8 trailer. Then there was a quickfire round of awards. Best Art Direction, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Scorn Stray. Winner was Elden Ring. Best VR AR game, After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. The winner was Moss Book 2. Best Cinema Strategy, Dune Spice War, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Total War, Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. Winner was Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Not played it, can't comment.
Rightfully, I played it, and it rightfully so won the game. The reward.
I will have to pick it up. Best Community Support Game, Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Yeah, I did. Yes, Fortnite.
How many are there?
No Man's. Yes, too many. Is the answer to that question.
And it's also Roman numerals, so it's just the worst.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out.
Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky, with the winner being Final Fantasy 14.
To be expected, honestly.
It has made big
doing really well.
I mean, I would agree with you, Weird, that No Man's Sky definitely would have been in the nominations, and it was a clear contender. But to have Final Fantasy shut down its entire online service and then completely rebuild the game and then become like a success story that it is, I think is just edges out No Man's Sky just a little bit.
Yeah, and the fact that they were so successful, they actually had to stop selling the damn.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
you.
but
Yeah,
yeah. But both the games
they're
are
both
on
really
pretty
good.
much the
No,
same
no Man's
level
Sky
of
has really
amazing comeback.
good.
Yeah.
hydration from Xandris.
Oh, it's a good idea. Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Xandros.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
The Nightingale trailer, which was pronounced. We were kind of interested in that. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Mm.
Mostly because Elle
Mhm.
would make an absolutely stunning character, and I will just want to see what he comes up with.
we then had Legends of the point and click community. Ken and Roberta Williams, who made the first Conquest game, present games winner for Games for Impact. The nominees were A Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, A Citizen Sleeper, Endless Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. All games which I'd never heard of until that night, but I am now wanting to play. As Dusk Falls being the winner.
I've heard about the Extinction one. It's a very sad one. It's really sad. You play a fox. Play a vixen trying to look after your fox cubs, and if you lose them basically you are the last vixen on Earth, and you're trying to look after your cubs, and the world is like
The-
basically it's post industrialization, and if you lose your fox cub, it is gone for good.
Given the fact
Oh,
it's called
no.
Games to Impact, I'm guessing all of them are pretty sad, so I'm anticipating that's why. We then got a Baldur's Gate 3 trailer, which looked pretty awesome.
Pretty fucking interesting.
We got a reveal of a game called Wayfinder, which basically looked like a Fortnite slash weird kind of one of those kind of looter shooter kind of style games. Yeah. We then had what I thought was very unusual but a very interesting idea, which is the Ski Aurora live game concert, which was happening after the
Oh
Game
yeah.
Awards. And I thought that was a very fascinating idea, having people able to attend a concert digitally as part of a virtual world. I thought was a very fascinating idea, and I think people the chat, of course, is poo pooing the idea because the chat is the chat. They just want
Yeah, don't read the
shooters.
chat.
But no, I'm always like, yeah, this is something new. It's new and innovative. And people don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. Simple as that. And I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. We then had a live performance of Lilith from the game Diablo, which was copyrighted, so we couldn't actually listen to it. So we were just we were watching someone just open their mouth a lot, pretty much for the entire thing.
yeah.
We then got the go on.
We were busy listening to our own complaints.
Diablo 4 trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah. We still
Well-
all had PTSD from Immortal, so we weren't that interested.
Yep.
Yeah, and from what I've been reading about Diablo 4's development woes.
Yeah.
Got a roll eye from Sanders in the comments.
No. That can be summed up in 2 words. Activision Blizzard.
Yes.
Basically.
Basically, yep, you nailed it. We then got another quickfire round of awards. Best sports racing game. F1 2022, FIFA 2023, NBA 2K23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie Ollie World. Gran Turismo,
Cool.
with Gran Turismo 7 pulling out the winner.
I kind of wanted to say one of those games is not like
That's the other.
others.
Yes, I know. Which one's the odd one out?
It's cars.
We then got another name the odd one out, which is the best multiplayer game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And I so wanted it to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's
Yeah.
Revenge.
I mean, yes.
But it was indeed Splatoon that picked up the winner for that, which, yeah, I've not played Splatoon 3, so I can't comment, but
Yeah,
I have played.
I can't tell whether they deserved it or not, but I can tell that multiplayer in TMNT is just
That was just
absolute
great. It's
chaos in the best way possible.
party, dudes.
Yeah. Especially when they have 5 friends to play with.
Best audio design: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, and once again, God of War Ragnarok picked up the best audio design. That was just Splatoon 3 have Rob Paulson? I think not.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
That
fair.
is very fair.
That's absolutely fair.
We then got an interesting award, which I never heard before, which is most anticipated game. Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. As soon as they announced that, I thought, Zelda's got it won.
Yeah.
And what do you
Yeah.
know? It did win that
Yep.
award.
Good fucky thing it wasn't the turf game. Thank fuck.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, I don't think even that would have won. I mean, I was thinking that Resident Evil 4 or Starfield might have won it, but as soon as Zelda's thrown in there, that's it. There's no
Yeah, it's
competition.
like,
Yeah.
there was no
I-
surprise there. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I am 100% agreeing with Xandros. An award for not being released yet. What an award. Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting for like what the next thing is going to be, because it's quite interesting if Tears of the Kingdom isn't even considered the game of the year, but one of the other ones does win it, because that itself is interesting. Kind of look into the future, and I think that's why it's one of the quick fires. It's not one of the main ones where they have someone up on stage and such.
yeah.
Yeah, some of those awards are like just gauges to measure the atmosphere in the community, in the wider gaming community. Like, what are people looking forward to?
We then had the reveal.
I've got a list.
We then had the reveal for Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, which I'm looking forward to that DLC. Definitely picking that up. The Last of Us game and TV cast revealed the best action game of 2022, which was Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and again, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, with Bayonetta 3 pulling out the win on that.
Makes sense.
We then had some anime bullshit with Blue Protocol being revealed.
Hey.
Eh. Sorry, I'm gonna speak my mind here.
Hey, we've got to be
I
nice
mean,
to the
bullshit,
one
that's
week
fine.
here.
I'm not saying
Bullying me.
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it doesn't appeal to me.
I know. Continue.
Also, that is the official name of the genre. So.
Oh yeah, anime bullshit. I look at my Steam library right now. I've got the anime section as just anime bullshit.
Evac hates art, confirmed. I have no problem with that. Oh, I've watched my fair share of anime. The problem is anime can be very hit and miss.
I'm still trying to get this lot to watch a couple with me.
Remnant.
I watched Redline with you.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we need to get more.
I really enjoyed Full Metal.
Can't see me. I'll rub my hands together for this.
Remnant 2 trailer. Then the Transformers Reactivate trailer, which again was muted for some weird reason. Company of Heroes 3 console edition had a live action trailer, which I thought was very interesting.
Ooh.
What you mean you don't like
for any of this? So I might have to go back and rewatch
what,
that.
You mean you don't like shows about a young guy being reborn into a fantasy world where he has a slave harem? Pfft. I mean, let's put it this way: there are some shows I like in terms of anime. There are some shows where I'm like, ooh, that's a bit too, shall we say, Japanese in terms of.
I mean, to be
some
fair,
things.
I recently watched not volume, but chapter 1, because that's all that's out, of a manga that has been released, where the young lad gets kicked out of his adventuring party because
100 years old. Why?
One member doesn't like him, so he gets kicked out of the adventuring party. So he goes and goes to buy slaves and finds all of his adventuring party's mothers for sale and buys them.
Yeah.
I now have a harem of all of your mums.
Yeah.
Even
I've heard of
I'm
MILFs,
even
but
I'm
this
cringing
is
at that.
I've heard of MILFs, but Jesus.
Then there's of course like
Even I'm looking at this going, who thought this was a good idea?
Then there's the lolly trope, which really kind of unnerves me.
Oh.
Yeah, that just like you're 1,000 years
Even
old.
as a dyed-in-the-wool weeb, that's
1,000 years old. Yet you look less than 10 years old. What?
Yeah.
What's going on here? And yeah, Xandros is right. Japan. Do we need to have a talk? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do we?
Japan
we
is
need
the
to
country
have
that has to
another talk
officially
about it.
apologize. Japan's the country that has to officially apologize every now and then because they release some really, really weird shit.
That being said, if you are a viewer and you watch anime and you like it, power to you. That's perfectly fine. You enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
Hey, don't worry about it, Xandros. We
appreciate some derailing.
Yes.
We're
We're multi-track shifting. It's fine.
We embrace any attempts at derailing.
No, I will say, like, there's always one anime. Before we get back on track, there is one anime I need to continue, which is Initial D. But
Yes, you need to finish
I
that.
love me some Eurobeat.
Yeah, I need to finish Full Metal Alchemist as well, but the Chimera episodes just threw me away.
Original or Brotherhood? But
Brotherhood.
good. That's fine.
Yes,
Okay.
the better one. Arguably. There was the Behemoth reveal trailer, which we didn't really get a lot from that. Just kind of a bit of, you know, bit of footage and bit of CGI footage on that. We then got a peek at the Mario movie, which actually seeing Chris Pratt in action in the scene where they're going through the kingdom.
Yeah, like now he has a little more lines than what he has. He seems to be trying. In that I can listen to that, like he still should be Charles Martinet, but
Yeah.
in that his voice is not the best. It's tolerable. I could probably listen to him for a whole however long the movie is. I think.
Yeah, maybe we'll be fine with that voice.
Yeah, as Weird says, it could be worse.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
Could be
make
better, could be
do.
worse.
I mean,
Yeah,
next
we'll
to
make do.
the woke agenda that was shown in the trailer.
What was a woke agenda?
Because I remember a lot of people were flipping the shit because they showed the Rainbow Road, which is a staple, a track in Mario Kart since forever.
Wait, I thought you were gonna talk about like the fact that
Peach is
Peach
is
girl
awesome.
boss now,
Yes.
yeah. But she was always
No, somehow people didn't. It didn't get registered on the radars, but they noticed the rainbow and immediately went woke.
good. Yeah, we're gonna put our gay little hands all over it.
See,
Yeah.
Andrews, we don't need your help to derail. We do ourselves. Next, my favorite guest appearance of the night was Animal appearing to present best mute scores and music.
Oh my god, that was so
I still haven't got around to watching that bit. I need to find it.
Yeah,
oh
yes.
my god, you need to, yes.
That was one of the best guests ever on the Game Awards.
Yes, just
see colours in a pattern now and stop freaking out. Stop, Shadow! You're going to scare them.
yeah. So yeah, Animal from the Muppets just there in the Game Awards, which I just fucking love Muppets just being there.
Oh yeah,
Kojima.
So what kind of game would you make, Animal? Animal Crossing.
And Muppets X Knives Out when I would love to see that movie. That would be the best.
Oh yes.
I would kill for that. I would kill for that movie.
Benu Blatt is the only guy who's the human, and everybody else is Muppets.
Yeah. Yes.
So then there was the best scores music: Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Winner was God of War Ragnarok. Next, we had Banishers. We had a new game which looked interesting to me: Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden, which is this weird little game where there seems to this guy who seems to be channeling a ghost through him. And that's relevant.
Oh yeah,
to him.
I remember that because I remember being like really disappointed that she wasn't a playable character.
I was quite interested though. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting idea.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board for that. The announcement that got a lot of people very happy, especially one Mr. Russ here. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Hell yes! The game that was never going to happen is actually happening.
Oh, every time I see Space Marine 2, I always got to pour one out for Total Biscuit because he would have fucking loved it.
He would have loved
it.
We then had an interesting game called Meet Your Maker, where you create this kind of death trap kind of lair, and then you got to run through, and then you got to challenge people to run through it. I thought that was a fascinating idea. Great kind of title. I'm not sure what to expect out of that. Like, it seems a very limited concept, but I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, very interesting.
Wasn't there a game like that a long time ago, like the Quest for Infinite Loot or something?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We then had the Blood Bowl 3 trailer.
I think there was like a Quest for Epic Loot, maybe.
Yes, that's it.
I don't remember anything
Quest
about
for
it.
Epic Loot. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
We then have the Blood Bowl 3 trailer, which is one of those. What I liked about that is it's the typical kind of trope of like the manager giving the speech in the locker room.
Yep.
Yes.
But of course with the normal
Yeah.
twist.
I really want Blood Bowl 3 to win Best Sports Game Award next year.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Oh my god, yes.
I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I, get Blood Bowl 3 because of my continued retirement from the game of Blood Bowl due to RNG reasons. But I'll probably get it.
The Witcher
I'll
3.
probably return to the pitch.
We definitely know a friend that will get it.
Yes.
Yes. We then have the Witcher 3 next gen upgrade trailer, which nice confirmation that's coming. We then had crashing the party to reveal Crash Team Rumble,
Yeah.
which is something which I did expect.
Probably the cringiest part of the entire.
Yeah, but I think
was-
that's just part of Crash's thing.
I think the whole point is it's supposed to be cringy. This
Well,
dude in this crash suit.
Well, they did it very well. It was cringy.
We then had streamers Falsey and Valkyrie presenting Innovation in Accessibility Award, which I'm all
That is
for.
a good award. I like that.
And the nominees were As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. And the winner was God of War Ragnarok.
It has a big suite of.
There's a massive suite of
yeah.
accessibility.
Both.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, but both Last of Us Part 1 and God of War Ragnarok have a lot of them. And I, for one, appreciate them a lot because I had to use quite a bit of accessibility options in God of War Ragnarok to finish it. And it was absolutely worth it. And it's also very sort of non-disturbing. It doesn't break anything. It's just to help you. Just absolutely what the idea is about.
Yeah, like you want people to be able to play your game in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
like side tangent when Sony came out with its new accessibility controller programs. Apparently there were a load of people in the comments going, "Oh, Microsoft has better stuff." Just like for fuck's sake, guys! Like
yeah, but they can't use it with the PlayStation, can they?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like stop your console war bullshit for like 5 fucking seconds because accessibility is important for everybody. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
teenage
chat
boy
will always
children.
be chat.
Then we had the Lord of the Fallen trailer shown. Not very memorable for myself personally. What was memorable was next, which is Michael Madsen and some heavies coming out and revealing crime boss Roque City.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which this 80s heist movie. Which got Michael, which has an all-star cast of Michael Madsen, King Basinger, Damon Poitier, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Michael Rooker, Vanilla Ice, and Chuck Norris, among several others, in this 80s kind of heist game. I'm like, I'm on board. I am in.
How much must you have paid to get all that together?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, you first, Spur.
I just love how this game answers the question, what if GTA took a lot of LSD and went for a cruise?
Honestly, I kind of want to get that game because I just want to do heist nonsense with these five.
Yeah.
With these five.
Yeah. Yes.
You were gonna say something, Lemming?
No, it's just how much money did it cost for them to get all that?
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. I mean, the answer is yes.
Yes is yes.
Yeah,
I'm
we also
definitely on
couldn't
board.
see the trailer because its sound was muted because Twitch hates fun.
But it was
open the trailer, watch the trailer.
It interested us so much. We actually went and watched the actual trailer. I thought this is awesome.
Yes.
Right.
We're on board.
So then we had another quick fire round of the best RPG: Elden Ring, Live Alive, I should say, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles. With the winner being our Elden Ring. We then had the Player's Voice Award, which the nominees were Sonic Frontiers, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Stray. And the winner was Genshin Impact.
The winner was bribery. Yay!
Yes.
Like, I actually had to unfollow somebody on Twitter because they got into Gaijin Impact, and it just seeing it on my feed all the time just
Sorry,
filled me with a deep hatred. So I had to
sorry,
unfollow.
Jen, I just need to ask you because they did what? What
They
was that last thing?
were just posting a lot of Gaijin Impact,
Yeah,
like
is it?
completely innocently, like not anything like
I just
stuff.
need to
I
point out that you're saying Gaijin Impact.
I don't care. They
It's just Genshin Impact.
Gosh,
You know,
I
it's
know
like
the
whatever
difference.
that thing. Gaijin Impact, just like a foreigner comes up and slaps you.
Yes, I'm gonna fucking slap Genshin Impact then. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the Gaijin Impact.
As somebody who spent 3 months playing Genshin Impact to figure out just whether or not it was a fun game or not. No, it's not. It's entirely there to get your money.
Mm-hmm. Sad thing.
It's like K-pop fans, the posts constant. It wasn't constant, but it was just enough that every time I saw it, it made me angry, and I'm just like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna take control of my feed and just unfollow them.
I
you know?
wouldn't. I
Stop
wouldn't.
So better.
giving this shit awards.
I wouldn't mind, except Genshin is the only one on that list where they were not offering rewards, but in the previous years they have given rewards, and so the community were like, "Let's vote for this so we can get rewards." So yeah, to me, I feel like even though there was no incentive provided to the award in the first place, the implication that there could be an award was enough to skew the votes, in my opinion. I think that should be looked at. I think that should be looked at by the Game Awards.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Best independent game: Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. With the winner being Stray.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pleased about.
Also for this is one of the very few categories where I would absolutely give the award to all of them.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Best action adventure game: A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. The winner was God of War Ragnarok. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. The winner was Final Fantasy 14.
Also rightfully so.
Understandable. Yeah, they've got.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty fucking well.
Then Reggie,
They're doing too well.
the man, the myth, the legend, Reggie Fils-Aimé came out and presented Best Game Direction. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray, with the winner being Elden Ring.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's the one I don't disagree with that one bit. It's I mean, direction is different. Like, is it?
Yeah.
Depends on what they define as art direction. Or also best game direction. Like, are we talking art direction? Are we talking design? Or are we talking like mechanics?
It's
Because
really
true.
too. Yeah, it's a bit too vague to say. Like, what does it even mean?
yeah, I think
I find Elden Ring right now to be very, very weird in the cultural gaming zeitgeist, because I know at least 2 people who bought that game on release and spent 6 months playing and talking about nothing but Elden Ring. And then after 6 months, boom, it was like their personality completely changed, and now they absolutely fucking hate that game, and I don't know why.
we then had Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty introducing Idris Elba as a new character inside their game, playing one of the United States officers or something, or detective or something.
Yes.
Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon was then announced as being the next game.
Fucking
Soft.
finally! Yes!
We then had a Final Fantasy 16 reveal trailer.
That was a lot of Final Fantasy bullshit.
Yep.
That was a lot of Final Fantasy bullshit, and I can't wait.
And then the last thing of the evening was Joseph Fares, the winner of the last year's Game of the Year award, because for He Takes Two, announcing the Game of the Year for 2022. The nominees were Horizon Forbidden West, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, A Plague Tale Requiem, Stray, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and the winner was Elden Ring, and we're gonna get to that. We
I
then
disagree
we then had
strongly.
we
Yeah,
then had we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We then had an interloper show up at the end of the stage and make some kind of announcement about
Yeah.
rabbis and Bill Clintons, which was a weird
Yeah,
thing that happened. But yes,
yeah. The Bill Clinton kid who's very
Yeah.
weird.
very weird. Yeah.
That was the thing that happened.
So
Yeah.
most of the awards I agree with. I do think God of War Ragnarok did take the show. It had the most nominations and won
Yeah.
the most awards at 6. And
True.
I would never want to say that they deserved more awards because they've already earned their keep.
Mhm.
I just don't. That's the only other thing. That to me should have been the Game of the Year winner, not Elden Ring. Because as
Yeah,
much as
I
I
agree.
Yeah.
that's only because Stray, I don't think it's just big enough to earn that award. A Plague Tale I'm not played, so I can't comment on it. Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm not really hearing great things about that, but it's still good. And Horizon, I've played that, and I think it's nearly there, but it's not as good as God of War.
Mhm.
And I just to me, Game of the Year to me carries a certain weight amongst it. And I don't know how you guys feel, but Elden Ring, which is from Software, from a community that is known for being an extremely toxic community when you even bring up the idea of difficulty, as well as a company that are not even listening to people and their feedback about this. Yeah, apparently they're now rewarded for this by getting Game of the Year. And I just feel like that's a pretty shitty kind of standard to set. Because in my opinion, From Software haven't listened to people. I would very much like to play these other games, but I have no interest on the frustration to satisfaction ratio in these games are much more um tilted towards frustration for me. Like if I'm my gaming time is very limited. If I sit down for a session and I'm dealing with this one boss the entire session, at the end of that 2-hour session, I've made no progress. I'm not going to be satisfied when I finally beat her. I'm just going to be like, fucking finally. You know, I have no interest in that. And in my opinion, Jedi Fallen Order has already proven you can have difficulty modes in these Souls-like games and have it still be an enjoyable and rewarding experience. I still felt very challenged for some of the bosses in there, but not to a point where I was frustrated. And I feel like rewarding a creator for basically sticking to their vision rather than rewarding basically being a game for everyone. Like Game of the Year should be a game that everyone can pick up and play and do fairly decently at. I don't think that's the game that's Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that the game of the year there has to be a more broader appeal than just a niche community, because I hate to say it to the Elden Ring fans, but you're quite fucking niche. You're very loud, but you're quite niche.
Well,
While
they're
God of
fucking
War,
loud.
yeah, because God of War can
Yeah.
appeal to much more people than Elden Ring can. Because Elden Ring is prides itself on its difficulty in being fucking obscure. Well, not obscure, just I can't think of the word. Just like not easy to get in. Obtuse. That's it.
Obtuse.
Being obtuse kind of thing. And God of War is just not like that. Because last year we had It Takes Two, which came out like quite early on in the year, and then nobody else just managed to meet the same standard to beat it. And the thing about It Takes Two was
Anyone can play it.
it had a broader appeal. Yeah, like okay, you kind of had to like you had to be like a puzzle platformer in order to really get the most out of it. But it still had appeal to everybody else. Like everybody else could get into it. I don't see that with Elden Ring. And you could argue that yeah, God of War Ragnarok also excludes people, but not to the same extent that Elden Ring does, in my opinion. Anyway. So
Mm.
yeah, I
I
agree.
absolutely agree.
Elden Ring just got that because of it felt like a popularity contest, and Elden Ring won.
Well,
And like, I'm
yeah,
sorry,
Yeah, because
God of War's
yeah.
better.
we three, Shadow, Burr, and I were watching the Game Awards the night after. And you guys saw that my reaction was pretty. I was like accepting of this. I thought, yeah, God of War's had a good run. I was okay with Elden Ring. And then I actually stopped, thought about it, and I'm like, actually no. And I was afraid of like voicing my opinions because I didn't want it to seem like I was upset that God of War didn't win. It's not that I'm upset that God of War didn't win. I'm upset that Elden Ring got the win. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Any other game would have been fine with winning it, but the fact that Elden Ring won just bothers me.
Yeah,
And
because Elden Ring also deserves the awards it got.
yes,
Well, it does. It does deserve the awards that it got. It does deserve all the awards that a niche game that has interesting art direction, that has interesting um, sound design or music or aesthetics. It absolutely deserves that. It does not deserve to get to
Yeah.
be a sort of hallmark to which both mainstream players should try and test itself against, or that people should aspire to make something like that. Because now
Now we're
developers
gonna
might
get a
see,
shit ton of
okay, this
code.
game won the Game Award. Let's try to be like Elden Ring.
Yeah,
And
and then you're gonna get the people.
to be honest, there are some things that Elden Ring does good, but most of the things it does horribly. I've spent almost 200 hours in that game, and I hate its guts. It's a horrible game, even by From Software standards.
question, Xandros, is that about what we're doing or what people do it to it?
I think he more means
Yeah.
I just want clarity, before I make a comment.
yeah,
The fan base, yeah,
fan base. Yeah,
yeah,
I
For the
figured
fan
it
base,
was.
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree because
Yeah, and
now they're even more intolerable.
yeah, and I do agree
Yeah,
with
yeah.
what you say, Xandros. There's a difference between difficult bosses in Elden Ring and difficult bosses in something like Hades.
Mm.
Yeah, that they're now completely intolerable because now they feel that their opinions that the games
Yeah, they're
don't need
vindicated
difficulty
now.
modes they are now justified that, oh, you don't need
Yeah.
accessibility in games, you just need to get good, bro. And that's what really annoys me. And I read an article to you guys on that very night from Can I Play That, which is it's a website that kind of does reviews from the perspective of a disabled gamer, and that completely blows Elden Ring apart in saying that this is not a good game for people, and that's the problem. Is the fact that you know it even goes on to say it says this game was presented with 10s out of 10s. I was expecting to have a 10 out of 10 experience. I didn't. This is my experience, and it's nothing but negative, 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 negative because there are aspects which a lot of the community look at as positives that when you turn on its head, they can be negatives to a lot of people. But you experience this a lot because I was very interested in your opinion because you actually played Elden Ring, unlike myself.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I do have a thing for From Software games, but because of the fact that I'm not really the intended target of these games, because I physically, in many aspects, I can't get good enough for those games. I tend to like try to brave them, and as a result, I can tell a bit about those. So I don't think Elden Ring at all deserves to be Game of the Year. If for anything else, it does not deserve them for not fixing for having all the same problems in front of the players that FromSoft games had ever since 2009, ever since Demon's Souls, the sort of first wider known games. Because the there is no appeal. There's very little appeal to a mainstream player, to a wider range of people. Like the fan base loves saying that those games are not like the hand holding games of the mainstream. Yeah, if I could say they are the opposite of hand holding games. The front end games are the shoving away games. They're doing everything they can so that the player knew that the game hates him. Because you will you will not get any information about the world other than what you rip out of it. You have to literally like read every flavor text and every item. You have to lick every walls. You have to remember every single detail in every location and think how it might fit into the world. This game, their games were never, except for Sekiro, the games were never telling any story. They never had any plot progression. They have law. They have a lot of law, although that lore is very much the same in every game, because in every game it's like a world that's already dead but doesn't even know it yet. A world where everything is cursed by stagnation, and you can either break that curse or you can continue the cycle. And every single game, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, say almost same law, except it changes with various flavors. And you almost never have any tutorials. You have very brief tutorials used by the messages on the floor from the developers. And then you just let go to discover everything on your own, which you usually don't have time to really discover everything by trials and errors. Also, all of the games are assuming that you've played the previous game and you've already understood the mechanics, you've already understood gameplay, the core gameplay loop from the previous game. So they don't think they are supposed to teach you anything. The first game where a like real tutorial is Dark Souls and Elden Ring. All the other games don't really have any tutorials. Things that in those games are so heavily hidden that sometimes you don't know about something for hours on end until you watch videos about it. I was once making fun about a similar thing in Breath of the Wild, where a streamer that was playing a game for 40 hours and beat the game started playing it again and accidentally stumbled upon the tutorial shrine that she's never discovered before. And suddenly she was like, "What? This shrine is teaching me all those things? Why did I not find this before?" This is similar with From Software games, except there's no such thing as a tutorial shrine, except for Elden Ring, where you have a tutorial cave, where you have a fake battle with a boss, you have some explanations to that. But those games don't tell you anything. They just assume that you want to have time, that you want to spend so much time with the game that you will figure out everything on your own. They don't reward your exploration, they force you to explore. So
There's
yes.
one message that this game of the year, in my opinion, sends and validates.
Mm,
The one sentence that I always hear associated with the From Software community, and that
mm,
is, "Not every game is for you." Like whenever there's any kind of
yeah.
talk about changing the game so that be more accessible, people just say, "Well, not every game's made for
Mm,
you," you know, and it's like, and not
Well, yeah,
every
yeah.
maybe it isn't, but well, that's what genres are for. However, there needs to be some on, but also there needs to be onboarding of people, unless you want your game, your fan to die in the dust, kind of thing. Well, maybe it could be for me if there was a tutorial.
Do you
It
know
could
what?
be for me if there was accessibility issues, but I will never know now.
An easy way to sell me on a game is slap Star Wars on its title, and I'll buy it. Like, and I'll try it. Like, even if it's a game like a genre that I necessarily wouldn't like, I'll buy it and try it because I'm like, oh, what? It's a Star Wars game. I like Star Wars, and I'll try it. And most often not, I'll enjoy it. But that's one thing is it's about trying to get. Why are you trying to keep the community small and rather than welcoming new people? And I hate. Um, I have played Star Wars chess. You laugh. I have played Star Wars chess, and Star Wars Monopoly as well. Um, and I hate the
I
fact
played
that
Star Wars Monopoly too.
by handing this Game of the Year award to FromSoft, it's
Mm,
validated that idea.
yeah.
Not every game is for you, and that is like that's the very antithesis what the Game of the Year should be.
Yeah.
The only time you should be
Yeah.
using like that game is not for you is in regards to opinions. Because sometimes I'm gonna play a game and I'm just gonna bounce right off it, and that's fine.
Mm,
Like I know that that's a thing that happens sometimes, and that's just a thing. But if your game mechanically and functionally is not for me, then there's something
yeah.
wrong. In like, if you can't be asked to even give me a tutorial, if you can't be asked to give me difficulty modes and accessibility options, just It's not for you. We've made it deliberately hard and obtuse and without accessibility modes just to make you fuck off. Then your game is shit. I'm sorry. Your game
Yeah,
is just
it's
shit.
it might not be for me, but if it's a game that's for just a very narrow part of the gaming community, it does not deserve a game of the year.
Yeah, it could have
Especially
been for
that.
me, but
Mm,
you were
yeah,
too busy
yeah,
sniffing your own farts to
yeah.
give me a way in, so it'll never be for me.
Lemming, my friend.
Especially
Yeah.
that a lot of things in the Elden Ring that that even if you are the kind of person to whom this game is appealing, it is still saying that this game does not deserve Game of the Year. Because one thing is that this game does a lot of reusing things, and not just reusing things from all the previous Dark Souls games. If you didn't know it was Elden Ring, you could swear it was one of other Dark Souls games because a lot of things look the exact same, feel the exact same. The bosses are many times they are reused, like the basilisk that has those huge fake eyes. They are used in every single FromSoft games. There must be a thing that Miyazaki has for swamps, because there are 8 different kinds of swamps in Elden Ring. You have to have a lot of swamps in every game.
Well,
So
it's just
yeah.
like the game. It's fucking dismal.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Another thing, the camera in the boss fights and the camera in the boss fights are specifically created so that it makes you crazy. Usually the arenas are pretty
It's so
small and the
close to you.
bosses are gigantic.
Yeah, and
And
the
the
camera.
camera is just all over the place, and the camera hates you even more than the bosses.
I must admit, every time I see like Elden Ring or
Yeah.
just Dark Souls gameplay in general, the camera always looks like it wants to be right up your ass and not actually showing you what you
Yeah.
need to see. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
That's that
how is
camera
that even
work is,
tolerable?
yeah. That's not a 10 out of 10 game. That's not a game of the year level of production.
I'm going to present two.
No.
I'm going to present two things to you. First of all, let me, my good friend.
Yes.
I hate the Warhammer. Well, I don't hate. I'm not a fan of the 40k universe,
No.
but I'm going to buy Space Marine 2 because it looks quite fun. You know, is that game? Is that game for me?
I can only hope.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like just because I'm not, just because this game has interested me and has drawn me in, it doesn't mean that someone should just say, "Well, it's just not for you." You know, it's
No.
I should have the opportunity to experience a decent gameplay experience, regardless of me being an insider or outsider or whatnot, or
Exactly.
my
Yeah.
or prior experience to something.
Yeah,
Yeah, besides,
it's the communities that matter in these situations.
yeah.
The Soulsborne-esque communities of get good only push away newcomers.
It's what we
Yeah.
call gatekeeping.
Yeah,
Precisely.
yeah.
And then you get communities like the 40k community who's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're trying to get into this thing?
Yeah.
Cool. Here's some more
Yeah.
information.
Oh my god! Like
yeah.
I have listened to 40k sort of lore stuff while I'm at work, and it just seems to be is like, hey, do you want to know more about this? Do
Yeah.
this kind of thing. Hey, do you want to know more
Yeah.
about this? I could recommend these audiobooks kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the
if you
amount
get
of
one of
time
us
you
started,
spend
if you
about
get
it.
one of us started on like lore on individual characters, if you can give us a focus point that you're interested in, we can go for hours.
And you have
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
times, Lemming, and I love
Yes.
it every time.
And
Yeah, if I also may add 2 things about the
Go on.
community. One thing is I wanted to do the back in my day thing, because I remember that like 8 years ago when I started playing the Dark Souls games, the community was a bit different. It wasn't as toxic. There was a lot of people who were actually helping,
Yeah,
who actually wanted to help. That's the time when
that.
people like Fextra Live or Vatividia or a video game guru or other people started doing videos and wikis, and they were excited to introduce new people. It's just I feel like with Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, the scene the niche has sort of popularized, and a lot of people that came in started feeling very elitist, and slowly, little by little, the community started being more toxic, more horrible by that.
Yeah, it became more front and
Yeah,
center that the
yeah,
community was made up of mostly like get good. If you can't beat it, then you
yeah,
shouldn't play it,
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
people, and that's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Cause,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
It's
cause,
like saying, well, you can't. Well, if you can't read, you shouldn't read a book. No, well then why shouldn't someone be experience that? Why can't it be read to them? Why can't they have be read to them? Or why can't they learn? Why can't you teach them how to read it? You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
and
yeah,
also,
exactly.
yeah, also, the game of the year. I would compare it because I've heard a comparison to books with, like, if you can't read, you don't read, don't if you can't read, don't take the books. I would compare it to more like every gamer can read, but Dark Souls and From Software games would be more like scientific specific books, like full of diagrams and mathematical equations and such. They are difficult books. They require extra materials to learn, to know. Require some extra reference. That's fine, but those aren't books that you put on New York's bestseller list, New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna say, like, some books just have really shitty prose, and that's a writing problem, not
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
not
not
the
a
book's
reader
problem.
problem. Yeah,
Aragon.
now.
Yeah, I
Uh,
fucking went there.
I
yeah.
do want to give one more example, and I don't know even if it makes sense to it, but
Mm,
me and my love of Hitman.
mm.
How many times, Shadow, have you said that you would have never given Hitman a look until I started like playing it and seeing its
Several
versions?
times now, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yet you now know it's that's the thing is it's about onboarding people and about ex.
I mean, I'm still never gonna play it, but I'm showing it interest and watching streams
Please,
of it and stuff like that.
What's that? The please? What's the please?
please play it. It's
Oh,
fun.
well, Shadow can play
Join
what I
us.
want. Yeah, but the point is that it's supposed to be onboarding people and about
Mm,
welcoming people to the community and making them so. This is what makes
yeah,
this game great, but also making it accessible because there are many things that are done in Hitman to make it accessible, and I like that. And yeah,
yeah,
I really want to play what these From Software games. I'm very interested in them, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
yeah.
And that to
Yeah.
me just itself invalidates any form of that game of the year that it is. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Mm.
think we should probably close this off by saying hard to swallow pill. Gatekeeping fucking sucks, and if you do it, you suck as well, and your game
Yep.
sucks as well.
yeah.
let's
Yep.
move on.
And I'm just gonna end it by saying you can't get good unless somebody actually shows you how.
True, fucking true. And
So
also,
saying
I'd like,
get good and leaving them alone does fuck all. I
yeah,
wouldn't have
And
gotten
also, yeah,
6,000 hours in
yeah.
Tarkov if somebody hadn't put up videos saying this is how you do things.
yeah,
Oh,
and
I
also,
wanted. Hmm, Sorry,
I'm
go
just
ahead,
gonna
Shadow.
say from Xandros, I don't play FromSoft games, and I've tried Souls like games, and no thanks. I don't like punching myself in the balls repeatedly for hours, and I mean,
Mm,
fair.
that's a
Yep.
fair comment.
Well, I do have a massacre streak, and I will try them, and I will play them, but I will never say they are for everyone. I will never say that they should be awarded rewards like Game of the Year and put on mainstream. And I'll also never say to people who say they don't like it, I will say, yeah, you're right. Those games have a lot of faults. I really dislike this approach where the community says that you have to get good. No, the game should get good. It's first of all, it's we the games are for us, not we for the games.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
community of From Software games, they are assuming that it's us that should adjust to those games. No, bullshit.
yeah.
But
If your game's so fucking good, why won't you onboard us? Anyway, we've said what we need
we
to.
said
Yeah.
So
fearlessly. Let's move on
Yeah.
to a more up side of the thing. Our games of the year. Now, I'm just gonna put
Woo.
an asterisk in this just to make because I don't want anyone to get confused. This is a game. These are games which we're gonna each individually state our game of the year and our nominees for and our like what we'd say are special nominations for. Now these do not need to be games that were released this year. They just need to be games that we have played this year, and that's an important distinction because with backlogs, sometimes we don't play games until much later. So I only just got a PlayStation 5 at the beginning of the year, and so I'm not able to play certain PS5 games, and so that is why I think it's an important distinction that that our game of the years are just what we've played this year. We'll try our best to keep it to a game this year, but I'm not gonna. I've told these three there's no restriction to that at all.
I'm doing a top 5 plus honorable mentions, so I'm already good.
And there's also and some of them have done dishonorable mentions. So let's do it. So
Yeah.
who wants to? Should I roll a dice to determine who's gonna go first on this one then?
Oh,
I can take it.
be careful, Elle, because WOTC might sue you for using a D20.
Oh no!
Oh no,
You
I don't
can't
have
copyright
any
a D20 system. Try it.
I don't have any forbidden candy on me, so
I have the forbidden candy.
That's fine. I've got a
I'll
D4.
just
I've got a
assume I
D4.
rolled an at.
I roll a 2. Buh.
Oh god.
Should I roll?
No, I've rolled.
You're
You're selected.
Okay, I can go. So I have been doing some summaries, and it turns out I was playing 108 hours in 2022. So quite a
Wow.
lot in comparison. And I can say I have a few honorable mentions of the games that I played. I'll just list them out. In some, I'll add some extra information. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, a really great game, packed full of content. There's content for years in that game, and I love how this game embraced all the Star Wars memes. I adore that. And then Lamplight City, a game that Connor was advertising a lot, and absolutely rightfully so, because it's an absolutely amazing point
Still
and
need to play
click
that.
detective game. I love it. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. It's a really great game. I don't think it's for children, but it's an amazing game. Although it is not really for me because my fingers have never been nimble enough for this game. But hopefully, a wonderful, cute small bean one day will maybe finish that game for me.
Yeah, we'll see
So,
come UK
yeah.
Games Expo.
We'll see. But it's still a great game, and I love the idea of battles being having the skill based attacks rather than just
Press A to dodge
collecting them.
or defend attacks, stuff like that. Like always
Yeah.
really good in my
And
book.
another difficult game that I exposed myself into this year. There's a DLC to Cuphead, Delicious Last Course. It was such a good game. The bosses were so amazing. The music was great. Everything was amazing in the DLC. Stray, obviously. Who doesn't love a game about a poor little meow meow in a dystopian world? It's a really great game.
Kitty.
Return to Monkey Island also, obviously.
Yes.
I've loved the Monkey Island series since forever, since the previous century, and it was a wonderful return. I was not really initially bought on the art style, but then it grew on me immediately as the game started. It was just, it was perfect. And Mario and Rabbit Sparks of Hope. I beat that game on the demanding difficulty, which I'm proud of myself to do. This game is so much better than the previous installment, Kingdom Battle, which was an amazing game already. If you're not really bought on the idea of XCOM games, the tactics games, you should try Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It's really good and it's very easy to learn. It's pretty interesting and exciting to master. So absolutely worth giving a try. Especially with the versatility that you have with everything that you can do in that game. And my last honorable mention, which will appear on a lot of on a lot of people's list. Definitely on L's list. God of War Ragnarok. So I won't say anything more about this game. Great game, but it's not my best game this year.
What's your game of the year?
Game of the year is a game with a goofy title, Triangle Strategy. You might know that I'm a massive slut for tactics games, and this game is absolutely up my alley from all kinds of areas because it's a great tactics game. It looks like it has the art style of Octopath Traveler because it's the same company that made it, which I adore. It has a really great story because it has this very sort of Game of Thrones like story with a lot of intricacies, with a lot of gray areas where good characters can be a bit vainglorious when honorable characters look at other things than honor or just at honor. So you constantly are really interested in the story, but the main meat of the game is the characters and how you can use them in the battles and what stories they have. This is my game of the year, and I have completed it on Switch, and now it's on PC. I'll try to complete it also. Sorry, I have to. Oh, I'm out of water. I may go get some water in a moment.
Sure.
And I want to have also a dishonorable mention, a game that I spent 196 hours this year, and I'm never returning to it, and I don't want to, which is Elden Ring. We've talked a lot about this game already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It bullied him.
yeah,
It bullied my friend Burr.
yeah.
If anyone has any complaints about that being a dishonorable mention, he's played 130 fucking hours. I think he's due an opinion on it.
Yeah, if FromSoft never releases any other game, and I decide that I want to return to any of their games, I would rather return to Bloodborne or Sekiro because they are much better games, especially Sekiro. That's the best game in my opinion. But Elden Ring is just no. It has the worst of both worlds, the worst of Souls games and the worst of open world at the same time.
So Triangle Strategy is Burr's game of the year. Also, Xanderus, the rules for our game of the year is it's just a game we played this year. Doesn't necessarily need to be a game that was released this year, because backlogs are a thing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. The roll landed on 4, meaning that it is Ms. Ryder who is next.
Okay, so I deliberately disobeyed Evac and did a top 5 with honorable mentions because I can. Okay, so honorable mention because it's a early access game and therefore cannot be on the list. I have a rule that it has to be fully released and stuff like that. Is Disney Dreamlight Valley because it appeals to all of my fucking ADHD tendencies of just like, hey, do you want to do a little thing here, and a little task. I'm like, yes. It's like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley had a baby, and they were more respectful of your time, kind of thing, and they painted the Disney sort of stuff over the top of it. I pretty like it. There is kind of like it's like it's got an incentive for you to keep logging in and doing stuff every day because of course it does. But it's at the moment it's quite benign. I don't see any. I could see the faint bones of where they'd put like microtransactions and stuff like that. But as of right now, it's very benign and okay. It does require you to be mostly online if you want to do the star path or whatever the fuck they call it, the thing where you have to keep logging in and doing tasks to get like premium cuts through and do stuff. Like you have to be online for that, but most of the time it's pretty happy to just chug along and be fine. There's no time limits for most things. It's pretty chill about like, oh yeah, do it whenever, whatever. Yeah, we'll take your time. No rush. You've got fast travel unlocked pretty fucking quickly and stuff like that. It's pretty benign in that regard. Very good with it's okay with customization stuff that I would like prefer to be changed. But yeah, it is okay. It's okay. I probably would wait until it's further released, but that's just it. Second honorable mention, because I started playing it in the dying days of 2022 and just finished it last night, is Spiritfarer. Fuck me, it's a good game, but it has the emotional energy of kicking you in the crotch, pushing you over, breaking your nose, and then constantly kicking you in the shin emotionally until you stop moving. This is the only game where I have like properly cried to, like proper sobbing and stuff like that. It's just it hurts so good every time. Like it doesn't get any easier. Sort of like in Spiritfarer, you are essentially ferrying the spirits to their end. You have a boat. You build stuff on the boat. You build them little houses, and you cook them meals and stuff like that. And you listen to their stories. And sometimes the stories are nice, and sometimes the stories break your heart. And then at the end, you have to take them to the Everdor so they can cross to the other side. And every time it hurts me. It's just like it hurts so much. And there's an ending bit that I can't spoil that had me in so much tears. Just why it hurts. But there is one downside to Spiritfarer is it can be a bit bratty about its platforming. Sometimes it requires you to do some very precision platforming, but its controls don't feel as precise as I would like, kind of thing. It's not a huge failing, but there is a spirit that wants you to do some platforming challenges quite quickly in a time limit, and the platform makes me to strangle her. But yeah, so in reverse order, in 5th place is Max Gentleman Sexy Business because it was very amusing and it took me a while to get into it. I've been trying to get into it for quite some time and I finally managed it last year. Basically, it's a roguelite business strategy game where each time you fail, you've got more stuff so you can get further in each time, and it's fun as fuck, and I love it. But it's hard. It's also hard as nails, and also you can romance people? Question mark. I particularly liked Summer Starling because she wanted to kick my face in, and I kind of like that woman.
It's the one with silver hair that besotted you.
Yeah, yes, and she's a dummy. She's dumb. She's a dom. The also great thing about Max Gentleman Sexy Business is that even though it's one of those games, like with the not safe for work, it's
Oh.
automatic. It automatically keeps its very not safe for work stuff behind a DLC that's free. So if you want to, you can get all the nudity and stuff like that. But if you don't want to, you don't need to, and that's fine. And you can also choose your gender being male, female, or boss. And I chose boss because I want my pronoun to be boss, and a non-binary boss. That suits me down to the fucking ground. Kind of thing.
Understandable.
It's called boss binary.
Ha! Yes. In 4th place, Strange Horticulture. Strange Horticulture. You are a little indie game that I kind of fell in love with. You are a botanist, I think. I don't know the proper title, but you are a
What is?
botanist. You have a your father's grandfather's family's question mark an old horticultural shop. You are the last place which actually grows plants. So you've got all these plants that you need to identify and work out what they do. And people come in and they ask you for plants, and sometimes you and they ask you for plants that you give them, and sometimes you get involved with summoning an old god, and sometimes you poison a man because he was mean about your cat.
As you do.
Stuff like that. Yes, it's a great game. I love it. Would recommend. You can also pet the cat. There's an achievement for petting the cat a lot.
Yeah.
So yes, would recommend.
Just like we're petting the dog in Hades.
Yes.
That's great.
In third
always
place
great.
is Cult of the Lamb. I
Yay!
fucking love it because it's terrible, and I love being evil, and murder is good. It's one of the few sort of combat games like Hades. Like I don't know, I know Hades has got like a proper term, but it's one of those few games where it's combat style I can actually get into, kind of thing. It's just low enough for me to understand the bar. It's like, oh yeah, I can hit things and I can also dodge, hee hee, kind of thing. I like that. That's my is my friend. You could be a complete bastard to your followers, and I found out the best in-game loot is followers um have followers like that they die before they get old, and then also have ritual combat so you get old people to fight themselves to death. It's
Unfortunately, that game is also full of shit.
yes, and the problem I have with the game is it becomes busy work when you constantly have to cook food for your followers. I wish you could automate that at later stages of the game, because it gets so fucking frustrating. And at one point I got so bored that I did the nobody starves ritual and just hail married into the end of the game. So good game. Needs more automation, but there are updates coming that I saw on the thing. So he's good. Yes, would be higher if it wasn't so annoying at times. In second place, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, because it's fun as fuck. There's so much to do, and it's hilarious. There's so many times I've laughed out loud at it, and also watching my friend Lemming sort of play through the game again. I'm starting to see jokes appearing, cutscenes that I hadn't seen the first time. Like in the New Hope one, that somebody's in a wheelbarrow, and I'm like, what? I didn't see the wheelbarrow, and it's great. Watch it again. Play the game. It's got so many collectibles though, and it's holy shit. And my game of the year, it was quite a fight this year because nobody really stood out above the rest, but this one clinched it just because it did, because it deserves it. Is my game of the year is Stray, because of the kitty cat. Like, it had to struggle against Skywalker Saga because there are certain bits in Stray which I don't like at all. It's pretty scary and not great, and I hate that section of the game. It's the bit in the sewers. Anybody who's played Stray long enough will know what it is. It's the bit with the squishy things, and I hate it so much, kind of thing. But yeah, it's a great game. If you play as a cat, you can sit on robots, and I spent most of the time knocking pots off high buildings because I can.
You can scratch things. You can meow on cameras.
There is a dedicated meow button,
Yeah.
and if you meow at a CCTV camera, it nods.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Every game that has a dedicated animal sound button is a good game.
Yes.
That game,
I mean,
Stray.
I was convinced. I haven't played Stray, but I was convinced of its quality the moment I saw somebody making their cat walk across a keyboard, and the letters and numbers came up on screen.
Yes, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the best thing about Stray is, like, when it was new, people were making mods to allow people to play as their own cat.
Yeah.
As in,
Aw.
like, the
Ah.
cats with
Oh.
the cats that they would
Yeah.
have, or they've lost. It was just the cute.
Yeah. You
thing.
can also play as Garfield.
Yeah, yes, or Spyro even.
Yeah. In a more cursed turn of events, you can also play as CJ from GTA.
Probably not.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Is that
That's it.
That's it? All right then.
Yeah, that's
Lemming, do you want to go through yours?
Right. Are you ready for a half-hour award ceremony with lights and festivities? No? Good, because it's going to be a short one, although I do have a few things here.
Whee!
Right, I'm going to start off with, I've got a list of things. I've got some games that aren't on the list because I haven't played them enough. I've got some games that I want to play but haven't yet. And then I've got my top 5. So the games I still want to play that came out this year but I haven't been able to. Spider-Man Remastered.
Fair.
I finally bought that game. I want to play it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Dune Spice Wars. They brought back a new Dune strategy game. I haven't I've got it installed. I haven't played it yet. It bugs me. But I will get to it eventually. because
I
you
want
know
to see you play it because
Yes, because-
I'm interested in that game.
I might play it soon. Soon, TM.
TM.
And then games I want to finish. Top of the list, God of War.
Mm.
Because I've played it a couple of times on stream, but I haven't finished it yet.
I want to
hardly
see you
gotten
play
anywhere.
that. Yeah.
Return to Monkey Island. For the obvious reasons. It's a Monkey Island game. It's hilarious. I'm enjoying it. People didn't like the art style, but I'm all for it. And the final game that I want to actually finish this year is, from last year, is Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sister. Don't know if I've mentioned that one before.
I think
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah,
a
Warhammer
VR.
40k VR game.
Ah.
It's interesting. I just want to finish the actual story. I don't know how long it is, and I don't know how far I am, but I want to actually finish it and destroy the evils that is Chaos. But
Yes.
with them out the way, my top 5 games that I've enjoyed this year. Number 5, Ragnarok. The VR drumming game where you're like on a Viking longship, drumming to heavy metal and power metal ballads. If that sounds good to you, it is. It really is. Number 4, Ghostbusters: Spirits Unleashed.
Oh my god, yes! I completely forgot.
How did everybody forget about that one?
I completely forgot. I did.
Yeah,
I just.
because we've not played enough of that game.
I'm probably
Maybe that's why.
4,
A
actually.
couple of people here did.
Honorable mention.
Yeah. Number 3, Power Wash Simulator.
Oh,
It had its
yeah.
full 1.0 release this year.
Yeah.
I finished it a couple of weeks ago, and yes, it's a lot of fun, and it actually has a story, believe it or not, interwoven throughout the entire game that only reveals itself towards the end. Fully recommended. A lot of fun. Number 2, Hitman 3. I think you can understand why.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, a massive, entirely. Hitman 3 is Hitman 1, 2, and 3 all in one go. And it's also VR compatible, which is incredibly janky but also fun.
Yeah, it is.
And my personal game of this year is a game I played the beta for, then played it on release. It's super fun. The soundtrack is killer. Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I've heard lots of good things about it.
Yeah.
It's basically Warhammer Fantasy Vermintide, but in 40k. So you're a group of people shooting your way through hordes of bad guys to get to an objective, finish the objective, move on to the next mission.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Winning idea just moved to 40k.
Basically, yeah. And it completely works. I love it.
Zan did have a question saying, "Wait, which one?" While you're going for the list, I don't know in context to what. So if you could provide
which
some
one of what?
context. I think it's why you mentioned Ghostbusters. So I'm not sure what.
Yeah, Spirits Unleashed was the multiplayer one.
Yeah, it was.
Ah.
It was.
Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, the multiplayer one.
Yeah, it's the multiplayer one where 4 people are the busters and 1 person is the ghost.
Wow. So yeah, good selection there.
So yeah, there's my games of last year. A lot of fun.
I'll finish off with mine then. No dishonorable mentions. I have actually no. I've got one dishonorable mention, which I'll get into. I'll get into now. My dishonorable mention for the year is not Elden Ring. It is in fact Pokemon Violet.
Oh yes.
Unfortunately, as much as I think that they really dropped the ball on Violet. There's a lot of problems I have with the Pokemon Company, its direction in terms of gaming, and I think that's a problem with how they make games, as well as that I think they're trying to innovate, but they're not giving themselves the time to innovate. That's the whole thing I've got into on my Discord, and even in I think a previous episode we talked about this. Especially we might even get into it on did we go into detail about that last time, guys, or previously?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
We might have it as a topic. We might have it as a topic going forward because it is, I think, a worthwhile discussion. But yeah, that's my only dishonorable mention. My honorable mentions, which I've got more than 5, but there's at least 5 of them. I Expect You to Die, which is a VR game.
Oh, yes. I want to play that. I really do.
Which is a very great kind of spoof spy game. with some really fun mechanics within the VR. It's one of those pretty VR games you can just sit down and have fun. Like you pull the thing, you put the cigar in your mouth. You know, it's just mindless fun. I love it. I love playing
Yeah,
it. And
it's
that's
basically you're locked in. Think of the James Bond-esque. He's locked to a table and he's got a laser coming towards him.
yeah,
That, but you're the one that has to figure out how to get out of it.
yeah. It's really fun. I really like that. Pretty typical VR game. Yes, it's not very big and advanced. Yes, there are better VR games out there, but it's one I played that I really enjoyed. Had a smile on my face all the way from beginning to end.
I do want to play it.
Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed,
Yes.
because I really went hard on that game. I love that game. I should play it more. I wish there was more content in it, but it is what it is.
Yes.
But I think that they've really done a great job of capturing a Ghostbusters game, and I really hope that the company making it stick to it and just iterate on it and bring out. And it's sad there's no really kind of story mode. I'd like there to be more quests, but it's a great looking game. Return to Monkey Island. I was one of the people who was not too fond of the art style when I looked at it initially. As soon as I started playing, all thoughts went away. I loved it because the art style just fits. It fits with it really well.
Yeah.
I know there's been some contention regarding the ending for a lot of people. I personally am like, it's an ending. It's fine.
Still haven't reached it.
I really enjoy it. It was an enjoyable experience. And people say, well, the ending was shit. The way I was thinking, like, well, even if you think the ending is shit, I still think the journey to that ending was enjoyable. And if there's ever a game that is an epitome of it's not the destination, it's the journey, it's the Monkey Island series, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Next honorable mention: Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. What a game from a technical standpoint, very pretty game. It's a game series that's still going 25 years on from its first original game.
Oh, yeah, has it really been that long?
I think it's 25 years. Actually, no, it could be 25 years, but it's 20 years. That's shit. Like, I think it's 20 years. Now you got me wondering. Yes, it's a 20th anniversary. Apologies. 20th anniversary.
20 years.
Really well done.
Even then,
It's still it is a classic. It's the hallmark of the game. It's still doing great experiences. It's got great weapons that I just love to shoot around all over the place. It's got a heart-wrenching story that I just absolutely adore, and I can't wait for Laura Powell to play it. I'll start playing it this coming Tuesday. Next honorable mention: Spider-Man Miles Morales. Played that on PS5. One of my favorite games. I love Miles Morales. It's a technical marvel on the PlayStation. It looks fantastic. I sometimes just turn on the game to just swing through New York City during winter. It's such a joy to play that game. Fantastic. Next one I'll mention, Tunic. A great Discovery game. I can't talk about it because it'd be spoiling things. Go play Tunic now if you've not played it. And final honorable mention before I get to my game of the year, Mad Max. Mad Max, a game from many years ago. PlayStation 4 time. TB even rated it quite highly. I not played it until this year. Do you know what? I played it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. So much so, I bought it for Mr. Lemming Russ for his birthday, I believe.
Yes, I need to install that.
Which it's a great little kind of open world driving car combat game. Didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I ended up kind of unable to put it down for several weeks. So there you go. And my game of the year, hardly no surprise, is God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
Because that game, that story of that game, everything about that game, the controls, everything has been fantastic. And it is the epitome of a good game because, and you see me, Shadow, you've seen me get frustrated at it. You see me like, I'll throw myself at it one more time and do it. And
Yeah.
that's
how you're supposed to do difficult.
yeah, and yeah, God of War Ragnarok. I can't have it not be that game. It just, I was at the beginning of the year, I would have said, oh, it's probably gonna be Horizon, which Horizon didn't even make it into the into the top because of there's so many other good games that I played. But Horizon was also a good game in its own right. But no, God of Ragnarok just hit it out of the park, and I've yet to finish it. That's the thing. I've yet to even experience the full end, and I can't wait. Yeah.
Soon.
Soon. Tomorrow, hopefully. Well, there we go. You see with the musical one. Play it, Xandris. It's a great game. God of War 2018 is a great game.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I'm playing through it when I can.
They are both amazing games, wonderfully made.
Well, why
So before we end the show today, does anybody have any games for 2023 that they're looking forward to?
Yeah. I need to actually look at my list though, because I have a brain that is a goldfish, and I can't remember shit.
I mentioned it. I mentioned it earlier. For me, it's got to be Jedi Survivor.
Yes, Jedi Survivor definitely.
Yeah.
Wizard with a gun.
Yeah,
Yep,
Wizard
Jedi
with a
Survivor's
Gun
definitely up there.
hopefully comes out this year. I am kind of looking at, like, despite Wizards of the Coast being a bunch of twats, I am kind of looking at Baldur's Gate 3 going like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm interested kind of thing. But it's not like a big, to be honest, I don't really have anything that I'm like, I really want to see this. Oh, I can't wait. I just don't have that for 2023. It's more just a case of, yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like that in the future. Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah. Most is it would be nice if it came up, but after I played the demo of this small indie Metroidvania game, Gunbrella, I'm really waiting for it. I hope it comes out.
Yeah, and as we mentioned Zelda, I think I'm looking forward to Zelda. May's gonna be big for me this year because there's Legend of Zelda 2 coming out, and also a couple weeks later there's the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League coming out.
Yeah, there's a game I've got my eye on that I'm waiting for a release called Atomic Heart.
Yes.
Oh yes, is that too?
Don't know if any of you have seen that. It basically looks like BioShock mixed with Fallout in Russia.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, there's a game
all my
that
boxes.
that is going to be released in 2023. Although Steam has mucked about with the releases, is Locomotive. Basically, it's a point and click game, and there is a murder on a train, and you have to figure out who did it.
I'm in.
And make sure it wasn't you.
Oh yeah, there's one more indie game that I'm waiting for.
It's
That is
Loco
gonna
Space
be
Motive.
that is gonna be released in January or early February this year. It's called Inculinati, and it's a tactics game where it's a 2D tactics game where you are fighting with those doodle characters that monks were drawing on the margins of the books, like snails fighting with rabbits and knights with like trumpets up their asses. So you're fighting with characters like that, and I've been playing the demo and it's absolutely amazing. I'm waiting for that. It's a great game.
Starfield. I'm also looking forward to the Plucky Squire as weird as, and at the end of the year, Spider-Man 2 coming out for the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah.
So yes. So there's a lot to look forward to this year, to the point that this next year's game of the year is going to be difficult to pick out, depending on what we play.
And the pile of shame is just gonna grow.
The pile of shame is going to keep on growing.
I've got so many.
Yeah, I need to finish the Sly series. I need to do my Star Wars series. Then I need to do the rewards that I'm gonna promise for this year, which is probably gonna be as much as I did last year. Probably so I can actually play some new games this year.
Yeah, just like Xandra said, our wallets are gonna be so abused.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my wallet is not looking forward to like buying shit from Paizo, and then it's looking at UK Games Expo. It's like, no, why would you do this to me?
But yeah, well, that's our show where we discussed the game of the year. We moaned about D&D a little bit. Well, specifically WizKids. Wizards of the Coast, not WizKids. WizKids are a different company. WOTC. And yeah, I want to thank you all for joining us here at Scratch with Scratch That Gaming Itch for the Common Dense podcast. Our next episode of the podcast will be on the Tuesday, the 31st of January, which will cover like the news between now
Holy
and then.
shit.
Yeah, not too long. But yes,
Holy
I want to thank you all for joining us, and I want to thank my co-hosts. I want to thank Burr, Lemming,
Hell yeah. See y'all next time.
and of course Shadow.
Yeah.
Ta-ta, everyone. You have a good time. We'll see you all shortly. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
And it is done.
And scene.